What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Tsukimonogatari. Tonight we're on episode, what is it? 1 of Tsukimonogatari. This is the beginning of the final season, or so I think it's called. Or is it just the 3rd season? Isn't there one called the Monster Season 2? I don't remember. Whatever. It's Tsukimonogatari episode 1. That's all that's important. So, we finished Koi Monogatari episode 6. We finished Koi Monogatari, finished the 2nd season. Already watched Hana previously, right? And then we did a tier list. Now we're here. There's been 3 weeks since I watched Koi Monogatari episode 6 because your boy was on a little bit of a trip, back in action. That's going to be important for stuff I talk about later. By the way, I don't know how long this is about to be. It's late at night and I got to wake up early, but you know what? The Monogatari, it needs to be spoken and it needs, I don't know how long this discussion is going to be is my point. I think I'm gonna try to chunk it very intentionally with when I talk about what, right? There's also a few things that I'm gonna pull up, few previous episodes I had to re-download, and I also am gonna rewatch the Hana Monogatari ending, episode 4, some of Hana Monogatari, just in there too. Throwing that all out there, so the chapters are gonna be hopefully very important and well done for this episode. Okay, so how we're going to start this. Stay with me. Koi Monogatari episode 6 comments, boom, right? Okay, so we're going to start with this. I'm going to do all the comments, and then we're going to move into the Ougi Tribunal, okay? And then, I don't know what's going to happen from there. We're just going to figure it out. But we're going to start just kind of bouncing around here a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to read everything. I did read this stuff here, but I don't know if I'm actually going to, out loud speak about everything, because there's a lot here. But yeah, let's just start at the top. Get yourself a drink. Get yourself a snack. Got me a cream soda. Okay. You can have the bottle cap. You want to collect this? Okay. There you go. It's yours. Okay, bet. Whew. Okay. Sorry, I just gotta mentally lock in because you know that there's a lot to be said here. Okay. From the top ropes. From the top. There's 2 themes we're gonna see throughout this comment section. The Senjugahara clarification of the crab god, and B, Kaiki probably just lied and he's fine. Those are the two things. To start, when Kaiki, at one point Kaiki was monologuing about a woman he knew who refused to be saved by the gods, right? And at the time, I was like, oh, gone, it's gotta be gone, right? What I think makes a lot more sense after the comments pointed it out is that the freaking Senjugahara's crab, Hitagi crab, was the crab god specifically. I don't remember the god part. I'm just going to take y'all's word for it because I see crab god, I see 24 likes. That sounds good to me. So when he's talking about the woman who refused to be saved by the gods, he's referring to how Senjugahara, right here, refused to put all her emotional pain on the crab god and chose to carry that weight herself. Of course, with Araragi and Oshino's help, or as Oshino would say, she saved herself, right? But, yeah. So, fix that, good. All the stuff I was yapping about gone. Let's just shift it over to the Senjugahara lane, and we should be happy. And then the other theme that I just mentioned is that Kaiki's literally a liar, right? He literally says he's going to lie to us. So maybe it was a lie that he was fatally wounded. Was he attacked by a kid that was talking about, Ougi sent me here, wham, Yes, I would say yes. That would, it's not like he made it all up. But what I think happened is that this kid drops in with a bat, right? Says, Ougi sends his regards, home runs Kaiki in the body somewhere. Maybe doesn't even hit Kaiki low-key, but something happens. It's obviously there's a fight, and then Kaiki gets out of there, or fights the kid off because skill issue, plus size difference, plus Kaiki's, It's literally a kid with, a bat versus a grown man. Kaiki can make it work, okay? Especially because he's got the Kaiki stride, okay? Try to hit a guy that's Kaiki striding left and right, Tough. But yeah, so I do think that definitely happened, but Kaiki's fine. We know Kaiki's fine because Hana Monogatari, in which he's literally just alive and well. So, yeah. I think that's just the case there. One fun thing here is that Nadeko in the closet, if you remember the freaking Nadeko in the closet meltdown, because oh boy, well, meltdown, there was one. I mean, meltdowns plural. And it being her mangas, that's from the OP when she's going in her little notebook. At the time, I think I was just thinking, oh, she's having trouble studying for school because she's a student, so that's the easiest bridge there. But no. in context, in retrospect, definitely the mangas, that's our little teaser of foreshadowing to this arc, right? Okay. This right here, I really like. And I really like this line specifically, like right here. So, just kind of just highlighting how, like, how do I say it? Like, how good the Kaiki stuff is, right? How his philosophy, like, complements his tale about Gon, right? Or not even tale about Gon, but how his philosophy, you know, parallels his experiences with Gon and, like, losing her and all that. So, and I think I just really like this line here of, like, it kind of feels to me like he's scrambling to convince Nadeko, saying anything he can come up with and just saying what's really at the bottom of his heart. That's so good, right? Like, the desperation forces it to all come out, and, like, he's been primed by Ononoki talking to him about it, so, like, it's on his mind somewhere. So when he's desperate and he starts just clawing through his brain thinking, oh shoot, I need to be saying something here, that's what's there to come out. I really like that. I really like that idea. So I don't know, I like that. That was very sweet. Well, look, I give it a little heart. Oh, it's so exciting. This here is a chunker. Let me just highlight something important. So this is going to be one of my I'm going to foreshadow something later I'm going to talk about right here. You see this little thing right here? Okay. You know how I said I went on that trip, you know, that I was gone for like 2 to 3 weeks, you know, doing my thing? The entire time, every day, at least once a day, I would be like waking up, feeling good, putting on new clothes, you know, feeling fancy, whatever, right? And then I would just like be in my head for a second, and then I would just hear Ougi, 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 and I would shock back to reality, you know? That's been my life for the last 2.5 weeks. Because of this. Okay, ready? It reads, fun fact, you can figure Ougi out just from rewatching this arc, lol. The sooner you do, the better for everyone. It'll make discussions much more interesting. Season 3 time. Okay. This is my point. Knowing that we can figure it out is pogged, okay? Because now we can change our phases, okay? Because up to this point, we've been throwing things at the wall, and we've been collecting Ougi information, right? Collecting Ougi information. Now we know that the information we have is enough. We have gotten enough that we can really make the moves happen, right? We can spin it, right? So we've gone from the phase of collecting the photographs to put on the walls, okay? We've gone from that phase, and now we're on the red string phase, where we... You hear what I'm saying? And when I say I've been thinking about this for like 2 weeks in cooking, I mean it. So we're going to get to that later. I'm going to keep the Ougi in my pants for now. But I have some ideas for Ougi, and what Ougi is and what Ougi's trying to do. Ougi said what they're trying to do, which makes it even more interesting, right? And I do have that scene re-downloaded. I have I don't remember what episode it was, but I have that episode re-downloaded as well so that we can look at it, right? The episode where, Homeboy, Ougi, and Araragi have the talk after Hachikuji disappears. That is literally so important. So, we're going to get back to that. Also, just spoiler warnings, heard. I don't know, it would be sad if one day we have to destroy reading the comment section, because that's been such a fun part of, like, the Monogatari series. You know, that's obviously been, like, half of the episodes for the last, like, 30 episodes, right? But if, you know, I have moderators that go in and, like, clean out the comments, and that's all something that's happening in the Discord. So shout out the Discord especially people that like point out spoilerly comments, and then the mods can go in and delete it. Very pogged. But yeah, both of these right here, this first one here, a lot of good stuff in here, of like Araragi's true monster was there before, but Kizu had his fake monster, aka Shinobu, that distracts him from the true monster. In his mind, his crime was becoming a monster and starting to enjoy it. He's not judging himself by his actions, but by how he sees himself and how it compares to the idol image of a proper human in his head. Shout out Hanakawa, right? And then that's where Kage Nui comes in from her uncompromising intent to slay monsters, which is something that Araragi isn't able to do. Even if he idealizes it, right? He's not able to fulfill it himself, which probably, you know, feeds into him hating himself more, which makes him suicidal, etc., right? But yeah, man, I love this show. There's a lot of important stuff here. I'm just going to highlight this. She was uncompromising in her intent to slay monsters no matter the circumstances. circumstances, which Araragi partially hates himself for being unable to do. Highlight that, underline that, burn that into your brain, tattoo it onto your body. Okay. And then, yeah, I agree with most of this other stuff as well. I don't need to necessarily go deep into it. It's a lot of like, part of his aversion towards Hanakawa, reminding him of himself in her denial of herself, self-sacrifice, giving herself to an oddity to escape herself. That's a crazy line because, Bake, he's out here saving all these girls, interacting with all these oddities. But is that just him trying to escape himself and escape his story that he's not telling us from before Kizu? That's kind of the question. But yeah. I'm just skimming this to make sure there's nothing else. I'm trying to like super crazy stuff. I am going to rewatch the Hana car ride. I didn't rewatch it before, but I'm just going to rewatch it with y'all. So that should be fun. Nadeko's I Need to Love Myself, Who I Hate So Much rant is pretty good verbalization for Araragi's out right now. I do like that as well. This is, I think, a reply to when I was trying to make a comparison between how Araragi has used Ononoki and how Kaiki was using Ononoki in his story and how Ononoki was kind of working in Koi, right? But yeah, like there is a very important difference between the Araragi meta-narrative and the Araragi story, like the ones that he's narrating versus everyone else's. And basically Pog, right? No one can quite match Araragi's level of self-deception. I mean, that's pretty much the summation of what is to be said there, right? And then also like how Kaiki sweeps certain things under the rug, blah, blah, blah. Continuing. Gonna get back to this. This is important. Okay. Imagine foreshadowing something 2 years before it's written and 4 years before it's animated. It's insane. The OP where she's drawn, crazy. This is more Nadeko foreshadowing how she's used old references, shows her thing with manga. Check mark. Even like the personality of, I forgot what she named the snake, but the snake delusion she had. The snake god, right? The delusional snake god, or the delusion that is the snake god, not the delusional snake god. How like it kind of had like a bad boy personality or something. That's kind of something we talked about. I feel like that fits in with the manga tropes pretty well. And then how the end of her arc, right here, is also set up and narrated similar to a manga. Like that's funny as well, right? This is another Kaiki unreliable narrator. He was probably fine. So maybe he got saved and or he was able to fight the guy off, or something else happened. The detail of Kaiki really starting to turn on the verbal talking when Nadeko mentions she's going to kill Kanburu, which shows how much he cares about Kanburu. That's good. That's pogged. This I like a lot. So some of the stuff in here. Poetic. I agree completely with this, and this is one reason that I liked the last arc so much, is that like for the con man to, like, he's a fake, right? For the con man's genuineness to be like what fixes everything, for the liar's truth to be what fixes everything. Isn't that what I named the episode? A liar's truth, literally, right? Is like so very poetic itself. Another part of that is that, like, I feel like in the same way that Senjugahara sent the letter to Kaiki under the door, like anonymously, as a way to make Kaiki double down on the mission, in the same way that she did that, I feel like Gaon might have even offered Kaiki the money to like quit, expecting him to steal the money and con her, right? Because I mean, it was so easy. How could he not, right? In order to make him double down on it as well. So I almost feel like Gaon and Senjugahara both were tricking Kaiki into doing the mission. So in a way, it's like the con man got conned into telling the truth, and that's how everything was fixed. Like, that's just, like just thematically or whatever. Like, that's such a fun way to be able to, like, one of the ideas that you can present the arc as. That's such a fun way to try to spin it, you know? But yeah, there's also the fun point of, like, how him being a con man lets him manipulate situations very specifically. So, like, I mean, I'm thinking of Kanburu or when he's talking to Kanburu, and that's not even him conning that as much, but, because, you know, he's, like, he literally goes out to lunch with her, right? I gotta rewatch Hana. Gotta rewatch the entire show. But the way that his acting as a con man, which is something very intentional by him, gives him avenues to manipulate things in certain ways, which he wouldn't be able to do if he was not acting as a con man. I like that idea. I think it's true. I think that's just one of the reasons that he works the way he works. Like the way that his internal logic for why he is how he is, I think, is to have his own way of playing certain situations by being the con man. But also in a way, I don't know if he's thought that far ahead, but there's layers, okay? I'm just gonna say onions have layers, easy clap. Continuing. Recontextualizing Senjugahara stuff, love to see it. Really, literally recontextualizing the information from episode like 1, 2, 3, and then Nisei 1, 2, whatever. That's crazy. That's crazy. This is episode, what, 60, like 60 something? Like, this is, Koi Monogatari 6 is roughly episode like 59, 60 or something, in the order we've done, right? Which is just light novel. So, it's crazy that episode like 1, 2, 3 is getting recontextualized to the degree it is, right? That's just one of the most insane things. But yeah, so this right here is something as well that I think is an interesting idea, though I don't know how I feel about it. So the idea is that Sengoku calling out Kaiki's deception was part of his plan. One of the reasons being that everyone says that the deception might not work, and that Kaiki's delivery of the lines about how Sengoku saw through his lies seems really theatrical. On the theatricality of it, it could be just narrator diff that as the person telling the story in the future, it's a thing that happened in the past that he's telling us about, the theatricality could be coming from that as opposed to him being theatrical in the moment. But it also could be him doing that in order to highlight how he was aware of it the entire time. I don't know. It's just he literally tells us he's going to lie to us, so then it becomes really hard to, you can get really stuck in the vines. But was Kaiki's plan to save Sengoku? For me, like, he did save Sengoku rather than deceive her, right? And he did so by truth. I think what I like the most, the perspective I like the most, is that Kaiki was planning to deceive her, and then was tricked into telling the truth. Or that, not even necessarily tricked, but pushed into telling the truth, kind of primed by his conversation with Ononoki right before. Because he has this conversation with Ononoki right before, and that's causing him to get real deep into his brain on Gaen and all these things, and on who he is. And then he goes to Sengoku, everything unravels, and then what's he got to use? His true self, the thing he was thinking about just, with Ononoki a minute ago. So, I think he was primed to tell the truth, so that he could, like, break through stagnation within himself. Like, I don't even, because, like, if you say that it was his plan, to have his plan fall short, like, if he planned to fail to then be genuine, then I feel like that might undercut the, like, his stagnation, right? Because I feel like this was a big step in him moving forward in something that he was so stuck in, right? With Gaen and, like, his attachment to Senjugahara. So, as he verbalizes it all with Sengoku, that's him, like, moving forward and unstagnating. So, I like the idea that he was pushed into that more than he just decided to do that through the events, right? Could it have been the case? Yes, for sure. And there are probably some very fun perspectives we can try to pull from that. But I think the perspective I like the most is the thing I just said, right? It is a sick idea, though, for sure. That would mean the only times he actually lies to the audience in this arc is when he's telling us he's going to deceive Sengoku, which again makes perfect sense if you see him as the real thing pretending to be a fake. Yeah. The real thing pretending to be fake. Or is it the fake thing that desperately wants to be real? Like, the directions, man. Or is it the fake thing that wants to be real, but the reality of the fake thing trying to be real is what makes you real, but the reality of being real is that you're actually fake. Okay. This is fun foreshadowing. In Koi episode 2, Sentra said to Kaiki, please make sure you don't get beaten to a pulp by a junior high kid only to be left as an unidentified corpse. Shout out Kaiki for telling us that this happened to him, basically, at the end of the episode. Thank you, Kaiki. We can read, the Nadeko's manga translated somewhere online is, I'm pretty sure, a thing. A lot of those side stories as well. There's a bunch of them, apparently. Would be fun to read. I'd be down to read them. I'm down to read. Wow. Dude, the cream soda I drank is trying to rebel against me right now. Whew. But yeah, so I'd be happy to read those at some point. Especially, I think the manga, I think, is probably a manga, whereas the other stories are probably just light novel format. So maybe the Nadeko manga would be easier to do. We'll see. Kaiki listening to his own advice to become a memory in Sendagaha's mind and crushing his SIM card, so he has no way of contacting. She has no way of contacting him again. It just hits, man. It just hits. I like this idea too. I read through this, and I kind of was like pogging a little bit. Quote, a bit of a hot take on Kaiki's true nature. So the idea here is, I think Kaiki's greatest con is convincing us that he's good at being a con man. So the some of the big hitters here, right? The big hitters here. So much. Hair in my mouth. Hello. Dude, it's a bit. What kind of? It's an animal hair. It's got to be an animal hair. Okay. I think that was my dog. Okay, sorry. Lock in. Got that dog in me. Okay, lock in. Some of the stuff in here, right? So I like this part of it. This part of it is what I want to highlight the most. The idea that Kaiki's great at cons, how true is that? That's our question. So when has he been good at conning? Right? He was trying to con the children with Nisei, Sengoku, etc., right? And then otherwise, he's largely lied by omission, which is smart and that is clever. But that's different than outright like saying things that are wrong, right? So like in terms of conning people, like how much has he done? I like this idea right here of we've heard he's the world's greatest conman, right? Only in Sendagaha's mind. I believe that, just like how she told Araragi she would have seen anyone who just saved her as a great hero, anyone who failed to save her would have been seen as a great villain, especially the first one. So it's the idea that we've been led to believe that Kaiki's a great conman because Sendagahara has been like gassing him up or like speaking highly of him. While in reality he's really even not that good at conning. Because I mean, think about it. Like he literally just fails his con. And his con was literally just saying, hey, they already dead. I mean, it's not that crazy of a con, right? So, and like, he's tricking children by selling them charms, That's like not super hard to do, especially children. Why would he be doing children if he wants money, So, I do kind of like the idea that he's not that good at conning, and that instead he was like promised to be good at conning because of Sendagahara. Now, the crazy thing, this part's the craziest thing to me. This thing I like the most out of this entire thing. So that I like that idea, and I'm actually kind of down with it. That he's like not even that good at conning. This right here though. So it says, however, I think Kaiki has always wanted to be a hero. It's just that it's not natural for him. This goes back to Nisei 2, revealed by Kagenui. Kaiki thinks fakes are of greater value than the real thing. Why? Because he's always felt like a fake. I mean, take a look at the people he hung out with in college. Oshino, who's very good-natured. Kagenui, who is archetypical beat-em-up type of hero of justice. Izuku Gaen, who aims to balance everything and is so clairvoyant she might just be able to. Why would he hang out with them if he wasn't trying to be a hero? And you could even replace hero with just straight up like balancer, because that's the term they were using. But it's definitely like Oshino is good aligned, I would say. Kagenui's like hard line good aligned, it feels like. Like she's trying to do things for good. And then Izuku is like ultimate balancer Giga Chad, right? So none of them are criminals. None of them are like evil conmen, any whatevers. So why is Kaiki the self-proclaimed conman? Why did he hang out with them, right? It could be that he like followed the crowd because that's what he also wanted to do. He wanted to be a good guy, save people, whatever, and then didn't compare to the people that was around him, which caused him to instead, right here, be a petty villain rather than the failure of a hero. Which is just, like, that's such a juicy way to think of it, That he rather would have failed, or rather would have made himself out to be a con man tricking children than take the risk of being the hero that all the people around him were, or have been, right? Oshino, Kagenui, Izuku. And so he feels he can't, like, live up to that, so he compromises and does con work, especially under the pressure of everything going on with Gaen, and that's his his state, right? And then that makes him trying to be him coming out of his own self-deception in the same way that he's pulling Nadeko out of her self-deception with being the hero at the end of Oni. That like makes that, or Koi rather, makes that like hit a decibel harder, It might not be how a real or natural hero would do it, but it works anyway. In that moment, Kaiki is indistinguishable from a real hero. I mean, he saves Nadeko. He saves her. And he saves her by being honest and, battling. It's like he saves her by battling his own demon as well, That's just juicy. But yeah, the things, the bullet points to get out of this that I want to just kind of move forward with is that a large part of why we've been told that he's such a good conman is probably just straight up from Senjugahara talking highly of him, and then Araragi being like, he's a villain, You go into, was it Nisei, like episode 3, where he's all spooky with the red sun illuminating him, looking straight evil with the spooky evil music, the Kaiki theme. We're framed to think of him as some sort of really scary great villain, but really he's just a stagnated, stuck on a lost love dude, older dude, like middle-aged man who's tricking children. Like it's not that, it's a lot less cool when you actually look at how he is, right? When you actually look at the facts of it. So that kind of being an understanding of that. I said bullet points, I guess I lied. And then also that maybe he does still want to be a hero, or at least, I don't know, maybe he does still want to be a hero. I like that idea. I think it's cute. I think it's something that he had to have been pushed into more than was able to do himself from Ononoki and from Senjugahara, but I would say that is a very reasonable way to take it. I do like it. Okay. I gotta breathe, man. I'm getting lightheaded. Okay. This right here is I had to breathe because I read Ougi's name, okay? That's why I had to breathe here. In Oni episode 4, Ougi describes her job to Araragi as, quote, correcting mistakes, ending what needs to be ended, and punishing liars. Kaiki's name comes first when you think about liars. He's lying to others, lying to himself, even lying to the viewers. It's no surprise that Ougi would come to save the day, right? Best girl, Kaiki's dead. All praise Ougi, the new best girl. Ougi, I'm going to get back to this later. I'm going to keep the Ougi stuff in a bottle until we finish going through the comments. And then look, the next comment just says, boom, Ougi, right here. This is just that, this is funny. This has to be Kaiki messing up the narrative, him getting clobbered at the end of the episode. He definitely saw that kid coming, either confronted the kid or mounted an invasive maneuver with the Kaiki stride. Dude, exactly. You're telling me the guy who Kaiki strided faster than Kombaru, right? Though somebody said something funny about that I don't know, maybe I'll get to. But you're telling me the guy that has the Kaiki stride in his belt was clobbered by a child? It doesn't quite make that much sense, does it? But yeah, so maybe he's just spicing it up to be nice to us, the viewers, giving us something to work with, etc. Expecting new tier list before you start the new season. Boom, already done. Kaiki's talking about Senjugahara with the god stuff, though I don't know if you could draw some parallels to Ga and Toei. Maybe you could, especially because at the beginning of Hana Monogatari, there were the comparisons of her as a god or a devil. So, I mean, if you can call someone a god or a devil, then I feel like there's a way in which you could call some of that is they refuse to bend to the will of the gods, and they've made themselves to be a god, right? I am a god. I am, apotheosis? I'm self-apothesizing, because I refuse to bend to others, right? That's kind of, I feel like that could fit with Kombaru's mom, based on just what we've heard with that little bit. But I think with the actual things he was saying, it was talking about Senjugahara. There's a line in Hana where he says that the stuff with Gon Toei is a memory not worth a cent, which sounds deeper knowing his view on money. You know what's crazy? He says a memory not worth a cent. Is that him saying that it's irreplaceable? Because a memory not worth a cent makes it imply that it's worthless, that it has no valuation. But I think it could be him saying that he couldn't value it. It's not worth a cent because it's not worth any amount of money. Because it's priceless. Because it's it's irreplaceable, which is why it hurts so much. Dang, I kind of like that idea. Okay, and then Kimito Nadeko, read online. I'll try to find the time to do that somewhere. The OST I liked is called Manshin Soi. I have to admit, I'm careful with I have one monogatari song in my Spotify playlist that I listen to sometimes. It's the one specifically of when right after Kanbaru in Hana Monogatari, right after Kanbaru figures out that Numachi's had killed herself, and she's running, and there's that like piano track playing. I got that one yoinked, but otherwise I don't look them up myself because I don't want to get spoiled. I guess I could just look it up in Spotify. It's probably there. Good to know. Thank you. I'll write that down in my Discord notes. Pog. Kaiki faking his own death. I agree with that. Tier list. Pog did that. This is fun. So, fun fact. During my trip, missing legs here. I've literally been... Let me just read some of this and then I can give my context. Well, and here we are. With that, I have now watched all of your Monogatari reactions all the way through in the period between this upload and the next one. Kek, great reactions. Allowed me to gain a deeper understanding. Thanks, Heart. Very sweet. Thank you, Pogged. Since I get to be read out now from the comments I left, I'd be curious to hear what your thoughts are on the thing about Monogatari being a destruction of the harem genre. What's funny about this is literally during my trip, I like every once in a while I would like open up YouTube comments, and what I do is I have a specific way I do it that's like extra spoiler safe. But whenever I kept seeing like comments being dropped on like early Monogatari stuff and just progressively going deeper in, like, oh, that's a one on Bakke 11, on Bakke 15, Nisei 7, and just climbing, and then this was the culmination of it, like all from missing legs. So I don't know, that's just been fun for me to watch. So the idea of Monogatari being a deconstruction of the harem genre. So I got good news and I got bad news. The bad news is I don't think I've ever watched a harem anime. Have I? I don't think I have. I've watched Monster Musume. I watched one season of that. Is that a harem? That's just sexy. It's just big booba in your face. Maybe that's a harem. I don't think I've watched a harem. So I don't know if I can really, like, how much I can talk, like, give like a a proper response to that. What I will say though, and my best attempt would be, it is funny how Araragi is. It almost feels like the setup of like what I understand to be a harem, where here's a guy and there's a bunch of girls who keep calling him up, keep asking him to fix their problems, blah blah blah, and Araragi's torn between them all, right? And so it almost feels like, oh, like which one's he gonna pick? Like he loves them all, but he has to choose one. That's kind of the harem format as I understand it. But rather than that, literally the first one, Senjugahara, he ends up, oh, I've chosen. So it's almost like it could have been a harem, but then Araragi literally just kneecapped the idea and immediately went for Senjugahara because it worked, because them two work. So that's funny. And that's probably that's the good news. That's probably the most I can say on that. Just because, like, I don't know, it's hard to deconstruct something that I haven't personally experienced, the harem genre. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I keep thinking of Hachikuji, because Hachikuji, when he's coming to the realization that Hachikuji, the darkness is coming for Hachikuji. What a crazy line. And where he says, like, I'll just stay with you in the mountains, blah, blah, blah. Like, we'll have no contact with anybody. And I'll never go home again, so I'll be lost or whatever. Where he, like, is saying that he's willing to completely divorce himself from everybody else for Hachikuji. I feel like, and I kind of almost have the impression that he would almost do that for most people because he gets kind of tunnel visioned. Like, whenever there's a person in front of him that especially if he's losing them. I feel like man's got some abandonment issues from Oshino, from now Hachikuji, from maybe his dad. He got abandonment issues. Did his dad did homeboy say, I'm going to go get some police milk, and then he never came back? Oh, police milk? That sounds horrible. Don't say it. Okay, we kept it in. Woo! But yeah. Sorry, just spun off into Araragi there. No. My point from that, though, got distracted by police milk. Sorry. Whoa. Okay. My point though was Hachikuji. He was like willing to go away with Hachikuji, or like saying that. I don't know if he actually would have. So that almost feels like that, as much as he has chosen Senjugahara in like the romantic way, when it comes to actually saving people, it's almost still like a harem where he's choosing between people, and that's what's causing him like a lot of pain. But yeah. As for this episode's comment, Kaiki, my beloved, so true. And I was kind of touching on this earlier, kind of based off of this comment of Araragi puts Kaiki into the evil villain box, and so that's kind of what we get to see. And so, you know, getting Kaiki's perspective from the story really like recontextualizes him as a character, which recontextualization is just the name of the game for Monogatari, of course. This is a fun question. It's so funny to me to imagine what the confrontation scene between Araragi and Kaiki in this episode must have looked like from Araragi's POV. That's actually true. Like, if Araragi was telling the story, then what would Kaiki have been doing something devious with little old Sengoku, you know? Because, I mean, Araragi walks in, he's probably going to take Sengoku's side, right? Because he's been trying to, like, it doesn't even matter that Sengoku's been killing him. He's still going to take Sengoku's side and, like, be on her side versus Kaiki, you know? And it was probably even more dramatic than their interactions in Nisei with Kaiki as the big bad guy who's come there to spread his evil deeds all over Nadeko. Okay, that sounds a bit... Okay. But yeah. And it makes... Yeah, Araragi just walking in, it's like, dude, you... Yeah, I agree with you. Basically, Pog. Bro, this is really testing my stamina for this reaction. Not like this. This is fine. Just, I'm looking over and it's like, dude, 40 minutes. Okay. And I already... Whatever. Let's lock in. Enough yapping. Focus. Especially if we think back to Nisei when he was doing the exact same thing. He had no idea what Kaiki was actually selling. He didn't understand anything about Sundagahara's and his relationship, yet he so bravely stepped out to defeat a villain who just retreated without putting any fight. Yeah, and it does, I mean, it almost even highlights, like, Araragi being so, almost, like, reckless, right? Where he just jumps into situations, even if he kind of has no idea what's going on. So, he walks up, he's like, oh, Kaiki's the villain. Have at thee, you know? Where really it's a lot more complicated than that, right? Which is like Araragi desperately trying to make things into a black and white perspective, which fits his ideas of justice, of which he isn't properly holding up to, which causes him great mental strain. And mental strain, what does that mean? We'll get to that later. And then I really liked this kind of view of Nadeko as well, which being a lot more like sympathetic to her, especially because of the way, like, when she breaks down at the end of the day, like, she was a girl whose pink room didn't reflect who she wanted to be, and with a closet with her passions that she feels like she has to hide away. I mean, that's why Kaiki was so perfect. It was a very, like, personal and touching thing, like her in the manga. And he said, like, Kaiki said that line of, like, creation's, like, always an embarrassing process or whatever. I mean, just what a perfect, like, thing that, like, it's just perfect. It's just perfect for the situation. And it is something that, like, really does make me want to be a lot more sympathetic. It's just, man, the homicide was a lot. Wanting to kill Araragi and just being crazy was a lot. But she's a child, and she got time to learn and grow, and, you know, not be crazy anymore. And Kaiki has given her a chance to do as such. Especially with what he told Araragi of, like, leave her life, she'll be better off for it or whatever. So yeah, I think she can improve. I think there's green pastures ahead for Nadeko Sengoku. Which, by the way, I love that the passion of Nadeko, the person whose narration is most filled with lies, is writing or creating stories. It's just really fitting. That's super true as well. Man, is it like the storyteller is the one that faces the most self, like I don't know, I almost want to, like, draw a connection between the art of creation and lying to oneself. But I'm gonna resist because I don't know where I would even go with that. But yeah, good stuff. We finally get to be read out loud. Woo! No, that's actually so fun. I read somewhere that the comments that Kaiki says about our manga are some of the critics Monogatari received when it came out. You think a guy like that exists being Araragi? That's actually funny. That's actually pretty funny. That's a fun way to, like, almost, like, snipe the people that are critiquing. My headcanon is that Kaiki actually got hit by the junior schooler, but barely outrun him using the Kaiki stride. I've been saying, bro. No, I think that's perfect. This is a tier list for the arcs. How would you rate the arcs of the season? Rating is super hard. That's why I usually give them their own videos. Let me just real quick pull up in my side thing. So second season, like, Koi was so good. I really liked Hana. Oh, I just got it here. Let me just do it here. You can't see it, but I have my playlist. So it started with Kabuki? Was Kabuki the start? Kabuki, right, or was it Neko Shiro? If Neko Shiro was the start of season 2, then Neko Shiro was... Either Neko Shiro or Koi Monogatari are probably my favorite. I think Neko Shiro spoke to me more as an individual. Koi Monogatari is just very, I think, broad. Like, man, like Neko Shiro, that's such an ugly photo of me. Can I get something slightly better? That's fine. Neko Shiro's right at the top. I think Koi Monogatari's right at the top too. Kabuki, probably a tier, like, you know, that's lower. Liked it. Hana Monogatari I'd probably put above Kabuki. Otori I'd probably put on the same as Hana Monogatari, though I'd give Hana Monogatari the win. Because I really liked Hana Monogatari. I was surprised by how much I liked Hana Monogatari. Oni's probably the weakest. Except episode 4 was so good. It's just episodes 1, 2, and 3 of Oni felt a little like they didn't, like, you know, felt a little lost. Though it wasn't even that it was lost as much as I think it was Araragi trying to distract himself from the truth that the darkness is coming from for Hachikuji. His, like, only attachment to, like, his younger self kind of thing. So it kind of fits, but I'd probably... man, episode 4 with Hachikuji. It almost feels like episode 4 of Oni was, like, different than episodes 1, 2, and 3. Like, separate, you know? So yeah, that one's probably down there with Kabuki. I'd probably put, like, Kabuki, then Oni, then Otori, then Hana, then Koi, then Neko Shiro. I still think, yeah, that would be my very tentative, though I am planning to do an arc list at the very end, so we will get back to that. But that's just to stave you off for now. Yeah, right here. And apparently final seasons just go keep getting better and better. That's exciting. It's just Neko Shiro is so good. Hanakawa, like, her line of, which me will I be today? I think that's the most emotional, like, dude, it's one of those things that if I wasn't reacting, I actually don't know what my experience with the show would be, because it's been so different with the comments, which has been great. I think it's actually really improved it. But that's, like, one of those moments that, like, if I watched it on my own, I probably would have just sobbed, you know, like, ugly cried. I just would, you know, it's different when you're on camera, you know what it is? You know what? Okay. Continuing. This, I don't even know what to say about this. You know what? I'll just read it out loud so that you get to experience what I got to experience when I read it in my own inner mind. Now that I think about it, it makes sense that Araragi gets all the ladies. He looks exactly like my brother, who also got that hair that sticks upwards like a main protagonist. No, seriously. He had 2 round things on his head instead of 1 like normal people. What do you mean by this? They clashed and his hair at the top of his head just stuck up as a result. His face was also very, very similar to Araragi. Girls would just randomly flock to him, and I effing hated him for that. Why couldn't I look like him? Instead, I looked like Jackie Chan with Down syndrome. So that's the comment. I'm a little confused. I hear ya. He had 2 round things on his head instead of 1 like normal people. 2 round things makes me just think of booba. Are you talking 2 booba on the head to form the hair into the spike? I don't think that's what you mean, but that's what I think. And, like, I hate it. Why couldn't I look like him, like Araragi, like the brother? You know what? I ain't got nothing to say. You know what? Do your thing, Top G. Okay, continuing. Just like, what? Continuing. The two interpretations. Oh yeah, so this was a Kaiki death, end of the episode. Either he's lying about it. This was a fun idea. I don't, that he really did die, and we see something akin to a ghost of him and Hana. His unfinished business could have been to help Kanbaru. That's a fun idea. I think that if we didn't have reason to believe that he was lying, that would be a really good alternative, that he became like an oddity, due to his attachment with Kanbaru and Gaen and all that. It does feel like there is somewhere a plausible route for that. Though I do want to just Occam's razor it and say, he did tell us he was going to lie. He was destroying his connection with Senjugahara in the same way he was pulling himself out of the story at the very end. I think that's just what makes the most sense, though that is a fun idea. Especially with Numachi also being a ghost. It's a fun idea. I'm much more on the lying about it train, though. Kaiki really went from one artist to another. You're the shit. It's true. From a con artist to a manga artist. Crazy. This is... So I've watched Hana. I already watched Hana, so I know that him dying... Kaiki dying is a complete lie. I think... So I guess the big piece... The big difference or like one of the main reasons that people argue about watch order is the knowledge of Kaiki caring about Kombaru. The thing with Kombaru, it either is told to us, in freaking Hana Monogatari, or we get pieces of it in this arc. But also, he was introduced in front of Gaon's house, right? Man, the caffeine, or the carbonation, man. He was introduced to us in front of Gaon's house, or like Kombaru's house. So, like, we know there, from the beginning, there is an attachment to Kombaru. For it to be a positive attachment, like, yes, we could have been surprised by that because obviously we were introduced to Kaiki as a very villainous person, so we would kind of think he's got, like, nefarious things planned. But, I don't know. It's hard to... I don't know. I don't think it's... Yeah, you know what? You want to my take? I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think Hana could work in either location pretty well. But it's hard to say because obviously I watched one of them. Maybe if I ever do a rewatch, I'll rewatch it in the other order just to see what's up. See if that feels better or not. But it really doesn't feel like that much of a difference. But it depends on how much Kaiki's tricking you, like I've talked about previously, and what this timestamp I think is talking about. But yeah, just watch order, man. Watch order stuff's crazy to me. I don't know. I'm just chilling, man. I'm just along for the ride. So, even if we didn't watch Hana before this, I still would have assumed that Kaiki would survive because he was the one narrating the story. He can't narrate if he's dead, unless he's an oddity, but also still, but yes, I would mostly agree. If anything, I might have been more worried about Senjugahara dying because it's called Hitagi End, and obviously Sengoku's going for her. That's a fun idea too. I think I talked about that a little bit, maybe. I don't remember. It all blurs together. But yeah, that is like the idea of like who's gonna die, man. And somebody at one point said like, "Do you think anyone else is gonna die? And if so, who?" I don't know. Senjugahara. You know, it's scary. And we've dealt with Sengoku. I mean, I could see Ougi dying. Araragi could die at the very end of the entire story, but that doesn't, that would be a long, long way out. No, that's bad ending. No, Araragi dying, he wants to die, so he can't die. Because the thing we need to fix is his desire to die. So he can't die. Like, thematically, he can't die. Unless he were to die after fixing it and then had a real reason to die, but that would almost feel like backtracking. So I don't think Araragi's ever going to die. I feel like Ougi could die because Ogi's just obviously a huge problem. Kaiki's fine. Ougi decapitates Gon. Kagenui, Oshino, them two could die. I don't know, man. Continuing. Once again, Oshino Ougi is Oshino Ougi. Oh, I'm going to get to you in a minute, you little rat. Reading the Monogatari light novels would be very fun. I have read some like pages that people have shared in the Discord, and they've hit every single time. So it would be fun to read those at some point. The line at the beginning of Monogatari, of Koi Monogatari, of basically just Kaiki saying, "I swear to narrate unfairly in the spirit of a low-down, dirty liar man," and he does. You may have already fallen into my trap. It's true. No, it's true. Cross-dressing middle schooler is funny. Ougi. Shout out Ougi. Freaking Ougi. Peak Fiction, it's true. Nice intro. What was my intro? Wait, was my intro extra special here? We're gonna watch my intro. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Oh, I messed it up and then I redid it. That's funny. I just kept it in. I kept that in intentionally, by the way. I kept that in intentionally. Don't you worry. Oh, no. I didn't keep it in intentionally. It was me accidentally exposing something. It's a Kaiki move. Okay, bet. So, lots of stuff here. Kaiki was talking about Senjo not Gon because it was a crap god. True and real. Nadeko's manga being from like the 80s theme. That's freaking ridiculous. This is Hana Monogatari watch order stuff. At the end of the day, the debate is kind of pointless since we don't know all experiences. We only know what we experienced. We can get a little bit of a view, but we can't get it fully, right? I don't know the full experience of watching in the other order. Because, I mean, I could watch it again in the other order or, like, see how somebody else experienced it. But yes, I mean, agreed. That at the end of the day, the first watch has a lot of importance. When I watch reactors doing Hana/Koyomi first and how it turned out for the future parts as well, I'd just be screaming and pointing at the screen being like, ah! And yes, like it would have hit so much different, and the direction would have been very different. But like, you know, like I'm not worried about different. It's just better or worse is the tough part. But I agree with all this. This is true. What's happening? Where am I? Blah, 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 blah. I would say with this build-up, us showing kind of what Kaiki was, who he is as a person, really put emphasis on his interaction with Kanbaru, similar to how watching Kizu first let us know about Shinobu and her dialogue just hit so much harder in Nisei and in the future. Yeah, like I liked this order because of what it did for Koi Monogatari episode 5, which was, holy crap, we know a lot about Gon and Kanbaru and Kaiki, and so Ononoki getting into that, like we can feel how much she's prodding the bear there. So I did really like that, but I don't know. This is funny as well. I'm pretty sure I've heard this of like how the composer for Kaiki music, they couldn't get to sign, so they like cut out the Kaiki music in Hana, which made everything feel different, which almost maybe shows how much he's changed. So like now the Kaiki music's gone because he's changed. So maybe by not doing the Kaiki music, they've added like something else to the story to show that change. You know, something like that, which is like an unintentional decreased of the writing homie moment, death of the author moment, which is funny. It's almost like death of the anime music man. We want to call it that? I don't know. And then apparently he ran faster than Kanbaru and Hana because he knew the layout of the mall. But to Kanbaru, like she just straight up thought he was fast. That's funny. She really thought Kaiki was the maze runner, bro. That's crazy to me. Nadeko being all crazy. Let that sink in. So true. This is the episode 5 comment that the YouTube gods ate. Yeah, by the way, if you're ever going to post an essay, make sure you save it in another tab, because sometimes YouTube just destroys it, because YouTube just be like that sometimes. Blah, blah, blah. It's very interesting to know that Kaiki might not have intended to trick Senju to begin with at the start. It is an interesting idea. Oh no, that's for Senju. I was thinking Sengoku, sorry. But yeah, him coping, like him using the scam as like an escape route for his rationalization after the fact does feel very in line with just kind of how he's worked. So I do like that. Or that in some ways they only reinforce the idea that he should remain as a con artist and use that as a front. Yeah, I mean, man, when did the con artistry start, right? Did it start back in the college days? Did he maybe like see how everybody else was working in the college days and then be like, oh shoot, they really out here balancing and I'm just a dude, and so we started doing like a little bit of con work, and then Senjugahara happened. He maybe wasn't able to help, or well, he helped of course in his own way with doing with the mother and the religious organization, I forget its name, the religious cult, I think was the phrasing. So of course like he did it in his own way, but it could have been a after the fact rationalization of how things went that then he like doubled down on moving forward. So maybe as much as it was important for Senjugahara and her development, maybe it was also a very important moment for Kaiki and his development into con man mode, which is fun. And the whole problem about dealing with only the symptom but not the root cause as well, which is why rehabilitation cut out. Bog. Prisons, rehabilitation, bog. And then this was funny. This was on Oshino Ko. This comment here. So I read it in Oshino Ko, like a couple episodes ago for Oshino Ko, which is funny. But it's just about how Ononoki's voice acting got withheld, or like didn't succeed. But they they kept her on the books to do a role should one come up, and then boom, she dropped in for Ononoki, which is funny. But yeah, basically bogged. So we made it to the end. We made it to the end of the line with the comments. And we're not going into the episode yet because we have to talk about Ougi. Ougi. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up. This is Hana Monogatari episode 4. I don't think this is what I wanted to pull up. No. We're gonna pull up Oni Monogatari episode 4. Wait, no. Yes. This. What we're gonna do, we're gonna rewatch this. I'm just gonna rewatch it flat, right? Maybe do a little bit of pausing. And then I'm gonna start to ramble. Alright, 3, 2, 1, bang. Oh, wait, let me do it again. Sorry. 24 minutes into Oni Monogatari, because I'm not gonna put a timer. 3, 2, 1, bang. 4 months later, Ougi talking to Araragi. So, I'm pausing. This matters to me so much because of a line that Hachikuji said at like Nisei 2 or something. Do I have that? Wait. Nisei 2. Okay. We're just bouncing everywhere. I don't even care. No, it must have been Nisei 1. Nisei 1. Oh, I'm finding the line. I'm hunting. I don't even care. Okay. I love you, Hachikuji. Learning about the supernatural only increases the things you don't know. Oh, spit the bars. There's a line of... you only talk to me and Shinobu. Okay, right here. This is really sad. I've talked about this previously. You aren't going to disappear, are you? Because, Oshino's gone. He's worried she's going to leave because Oshino's already left. This is important for my Ougi points. Because he still feels the void of Oshino being gone. Okay? So lock that in. He's afraid of her vanishing, which is very, very sad. Right here. Ready? The only people you foist your problems on are Shinobu-san and me, right? I think this is pretty true. That he, and probably Senjugahara off screen, maybe, but overall, he doesn't even respond to that. I do feel like he relied on Hachikuji a ton, and on Shinobu somewhat, which fits into the meta-narrative stuff we've been talking about. I feel like he retreats to Hachikuji for comfort a lot of the times, in Oni Monogatari, and then if we do the Hoshinobu false monster thing. So that works, but, okay, so he doesn't put his problems on most people, right? Let's make that true. He doesn't do it for his sisters. He doesn't do it for his parents. He doesn't do it for Kanbaru. He doesn't do it for Sengoku. He does it for Shinobu. He's very attached to Shinobu. It makes sense. He does it for Hachikuji. Very good attachment there. Hachikuji's gone. He's maybe only got Shinobu. Oshino's gone, so there's a lot of voids. A lot of people have been leaving in his life. So who does he turn to? He turns to Ougi. Why would he ever turn to Ougi is the question. Why would you ever go to Ougi? Because he has no screen time with Ougi. He literally, what was it? At the beginning of was it Kabuki, the one where they go to the past, where Ougi, they're on the staircase where he met Senjugahara, and he talks to Ougi a little bit about traffic signs and stoplights, which stoplights could be a metaphor for the black and whiteness of justice, right? It's either green go or red stop. It's either good or it's bad. I don't know. And so, but he hasn't talked to Ougi much. So he hasn't talked to Ougi much that we've seen, right? So it's okay, really weird that he's talking to Ougi, which tells us Araragi-Ougi connection, right? For something, right? What else is there going on about Ougi? Gotta lock in. Ougi's name is Oshino. Shinobu calls Ougi the false niece pretender at one point, which is important. That's an important point. Why are you pretending to be Oshino, right? Why is your job to do justice crap? And by justice crap, I mean punishing liars. I think that's justice crap. It's all coming out. Ougi is the manifestation of Araragi's justice drive, of which he's hidden. Thoughts? I kind of like the idea. Or, let me give you my other idea. I'm just spilling it. Ougi is either directly the manifestation of something with Araragi, or Ougi is a group manifestation of everybody's experience with balancers. One of the two. I think both work. And I've reason, and I want to talk about both. So, thought A, Ougi is the manifestation of Araragi's justice drive. The idea there is that, and I've been trying to build up to it throughout the discussion. Oh, this is so fun. Araragi has an attachment to justice that he doesn't live up to, and that causes him a lot of pain and wants to make him die, right? He gets it from his parents, and now he's distant from his parents, right? He's constantly real hero, fake hero, blah, 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 black and white, idolizing Hanakawa because she's a pure white, blah, 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 right? But he has a justice that he himself does not live up to, which causes him great pain. And he's literally a half vampire, which should be half bad, right? So, whatever. And so, but he has that, right? So, how can he And we know it's causing him pain. So I feel like it's not a big jump to say it's not only causing him pain, but it's that mental distress of the pain is also manifesting as an oddity. That just makes sense with our knowledge of oddities, right? It's different because it almost makes you want to say, because one of the ideas that I had for a minute there during when I'm trying to put this all together, and I'll throw it out, is that it's even a Hanakawa Black Hanakawa situation where it was like Ougi was like cut out or something. But that's not even the case. It's different. It's very different because with Hanakawa, she had cut out Black Hanakawa to make herself pure, right? And there was like the division there. Araragi isn't divided. He's still bound by those tenets of justice, and he's still like, mentally straining because of it. So it's not that he's intentionally cut out this justice thing to like exist as something separate to free himself of his justice burden while having something else to actually hold people like responsible, aka punishing the liars. It's not that. I think it's more so Araragi is so distressed by this that now that Ougi shows up as an oddity to carry out what Araragi cannot. Shout out Kage Nui. That's why I underlined with the Kage Nui comment earlier of Kage Nui. What made Kage Nui the real deal was the uncompromising bam, right? I think Ougi is the part that is that Araragi, like Araragi is compromising and Ougi is the uncompromising force to correct it, right? Right? And it makes so much sense with a lot of this stuff because Ougi has been following the characters that Araragi knows. Right? Hachikuji. How do you know about Hachikuji? Who told you about that? Right? Showing up as Senjugahara to him, showing up as, or being named Oshino. It could be that, in the void of absence that Araragi feels, that Ougi has come in as a balancer father figure of sorts, or to replace the father figure of Oshino that he lost, which is probably attached to him maybe even losing his dad, Araragi's dad, with an attachment issue there. Maybe, it's the same thing with freaking Oshino, right? And so losing that again has caused him to be like, no, and he's concocted an attachment back to Oshino, or out from his pain, an attachment back to Oshino. Oshino's pretender niece shows up doing balancer type work, which is the thing that Oshino's gone so can't do, and is doing it in such a way to correct the things that Araragi feels he has fumbled because he can't bring himself to do, such as punishing liars, right? A specific example of that is when does... Ooh, I'm pulling up something. Well, let me keep watching. Let me finish this. It's just, it all came out, bro. I was too excited to talk about it, so I didn't even, But it's like, but think about it this way. What if we read this scene as Araragi has no one to talk to, so he talks to his shadow. He talks to Ougi, right? That's sick. The other idea, I already said the other idea, that Ogi's like a group consciousness, and I think that could get into the cross-dressing, like multiple genders appearing as a bunch of different characters thing. It's like this group consciousness oddity. I like that idea too. We'll get to that. Being able to share took a load off my shoulders. So he, we know that. Now say your job. And Ougi looks like darkness, bro. Ougi looks like the darkness that took Hachikuji. Do they not? So it's almost probably, like, maybe there's even a self-flagellating aspect of, in the same way that Araragi lost Hachikuji, which maybe there was one interpretation that the darkness was like something Shinobu had made that then Araragi used to like take the thing away from himself that he didn't think he deserved, which I like that idea. Hachikuji. Ougi looks like darkness. Is Ougi doing the same thing that the darkness was doing, but instead of taking away the thing he doesn't deserve, it's correcting the things that he didn't have the strength to correct? I'm just saying this. Figuratively speaking, it's a very commonplace job, like the overwhelming darkness. And literally, dude, Ougi calls themselves like the overwhelming darkness. I've been saying. The darkness that took Hachikuji literally compares themselves to Hachikuji. to the darkness of Tokachikuji. Correct the mistake and end what needs to be ended. Uncompromising, whammy schlamammy, job that punishes the liars we think Kaiki. Okay, that brings me back to second season, Koimonogatari, episode 6. Oh wait, what was this? Oh look, it's... that's not important. Okay, episode 6. Okay. Araragi shows up at the end, right? Araragi shows up at the end and sees Kaiki. Then what happens immediately after that? Kaiki gets attacked with a bat and by someone sent by Ougi. What if the timing of this event is proof that as soon as Araragi became aware that Kaiki was here doing this instead of out of the city, right then, Ougi, maybe connected to Araragi, sends the student to make this happen, because it was only when Araragi realized Kaiki was here that Ougi realized Kaiki was here. And that's why Ougi is so freaking, like, low-key omnipotent and, like, knows so much crap, because everything's tied to Araragi, because Araragi's, like, such a big part of the story, and Ougi's tied to Araragi, which makes it so that anything Araragi knows, Ougi knows as, like, a twisted shadow version, which then, dude, Shadow Araragi, you're telling, it's, like, that sounds so cool, man. That sounds so cool, man. It sounds so cool, man. Okay. Shadow Araragi, bro. Okay. This show is so good. Just even thinking about that idea is so good. And they haven't, like, it's not even true necessarily. It's, well, because it's more, the other idea is the group consciousness idea. Because Ougi, I feel like Ougi's everywhere. Ougi knows a lot of things. Ougi's making moves freaking everywhere, right? Ougi sends the student to take out Kaiki. One of the things that makes that idea maybe not work about Araragi, which makes me want to pull it back, because we don't want to spin off too much in a theory that could be crack, is that Kaiki was getting shadowed previously. Was it the same kid that was shadowing him previously? And if it was, then the whole Ougi became aware right when Araragi became aware wouldn't make sense. But it could have also been an episode. It could have been one of Gaon's henchmen, so who knows? Because it could have been part of Gaon trying to make Kaiki think a certain way, to make him double down on the project, to make him think he's being hunted, in this, blah, 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 blah. But the other idea is that Gaon is the formulation of a couple of different people's experience within the story. It is, like, because most of the oddities have been attached to one person, but we do know that that's not necessarily the case, right? Oddities can be they're like a group experience where, like, a bunch of people believe, and that the belief is powered into the oddity. So it could be that all of the like, Araragi included, not Karen or Tsukihi because they don't know about oddities, but, like, Araragi, Shinobu, Hanakawa, Kanbaru, Senjogahara, Kaiki, even, like, all of these characters combined have together made the idea that is Ougi, based on like Gaon's balancing, because, like, so, like, Gaon's balancing it, like, to say that something needs to be balanced means there's a scale you're holding it accountable to, right? And Ougi is out here correcting things. So correcting things to a certain rule set. So it could be, and this is the idea, that the group of characters we've come to know have concocted Oshino Ougi in the absence of Oshino, right? Because Oshino was a big part that was taken away. So in the absence of Oshino Ougi, or of Oshino, Ougi comes in to work as a balancer, which would include, because Senjogahara knew Ougi, Senjogahara knew Oshino, Hanakawa knew Oshino, and so all of them together, in the absence of a great balancer, with now a new balancer coming up, they've concocted, like, an anti-balancer, not even an anti-balancer, but an anti-Gaon balancer, Ougi. So it's either fully Araragi, because I think there's enough there, especially with Araragi going to Ougi and telling Ougi about Hachikuji, when we know that that Araragi doesn't do that lightly, right? Why wouldn't he do that with Kanbaru? Why wouldn't he do that with Senjogahara? He could have done it with Senjogahara off-screen, because there is a lot of off-screen stuff with the two of them. But why Ougi? It could be that Oshino, that Araragi felt so alone and so abandoned that he went to like the darkest part of himself. Ougi, I like that idea. It could also be that Oshino Ougi is more of a like less of a specific attachment to Araragi's justice ideal and more of a attachment to the group experience of this balancing law, or like this idea of balancing impacting their lives. Because, I mean, think about it. You're Senjugahara, you're Hanakawa, you're Araragi, you're all of these characters that, like, interacted with Hoshino and Bake. And it's like, holy crap, like, there's this world of oddities, there's so much going on, and then that all disappears. And then by that all disappearing, I mean, then Oshino disappears. And I feel like that's just inviting something to fill the void, fill the gap, of which Ougi comes in. It's just, man, is it... And I like that idea because then it, like, Ougi showing up as different characters, showing up as Araragi in Hana Monogatari, showing up as Senjugahara in when Araragi and them met, I'm pretty sure. Like that, where they're showing up as different characters. I feel like that almost fits, because I at one point I was like, Ogi's a shapeshifter. Yeah, that kind of almost fits with, like, it's a group thing, and so they're showing up as different members of the group, right? But all these characters know Araragi. Like, Araragi knows every character in the story. So it could just be Araragi, right? It could be a group thing, or it could be Araragi. Those are the ideas. And because, I mean, think about it, right? Ougi is here to balance in their own way, to hold things to certain standards. I think Araragi has that he is failing to do within himself, but then also that's not just an Araragi experience, but is also something everybody's been a part of. And the very nature of how Ougi's worked can fit into both. Those are the two theories. Yeah. But man, just like this kid smacking him in the back of the head, like that felt like the timing could have been very intentional, because that's right when Araragi realized Kaiki was around. That feels like a thing. What else? This show's crazy. Losing Hachikuji and then going to Ougi just feels so crazy. Showing up with all these different characters. Let's just finish this scene. Let's just finish this scene of Ougi and Oni Monogatari. Right here. Okay. A job that punishes the liars. You'll know in due time, so please rest assured. So, Ougi's promising to Araragi specifically that Araragi will know in due time. I don't think... Because that's... Man, it's like... If it is a thing, then it's like shadow self of Araragi, like subconscious behavior, right? If it's an Araragi thing. Because, like, Black Hanakawa was, like, intentionally cut off. It's not that. It's more of, like, I think it's, like, darker thing in the back. Born from the trauma we haven't seen. Born from the abandonment. Born from the justice. I just might end up asking for your powers to aid me someday, Araragi-senpai. Dude, Ougi's the real monster. Also, Ougi is just a villain, right? We know Ougi's a villain. Has any... Like, I've been talking... There was a time where I coped and I was like, maybe Ougi's a good person. But now I think Ougi's a menace. I think Ougi's a menace. I think Ougi's going to be the grand antagonist of the next arc, of the final season. I've thought that even, like... I feel like I was talking about that in the last couple episodes. Maybe. Hopefully. Why the long sleeves? Because you're trying to fit a shirt that you don't fit. You're trying to fit Oshino's shirt, but you're not Oshino, so you don't fit in it. I don't know. He's got to be talking about more than Oshino, and he's got to be talking about then more than Hachikuji. Surely he's talking about someone from before Kizu, bro. Gotta be the dad, bro. And then this. So, Shinobu coming in and saying, like, the girl's probably something. I think... So that's saying oddity. And then later she says, like, niece pretender. Or whatever. I'm pretty sure Shinobu said that. And so, for Shinobu to know these things about Ougi and to, like, call Ougi a niece pretender, because I'm pretty sure Shinobu said that, if there's someone that would know it, it would be Shinobu. Shinobu's the guy the girl that's attached to Araragi's brain, mind, soul, being, especially as like a mock shadow self, you know, as like the fake monster, whatever. So for her to be aware of the true monster would make a lot of sense, and for her to know like, oh, this person's a thing and they're a fake, would make a lot of sense for Shinobu, specifically because of Shinobu's attachment to Araragi, which would necessitate an attachment from Ougi to Araragi, which is either just them two or to the group as a whole. Or this is no, okay. Man, what if did Oshino get swallowed up by the darkness? Did Oshino get swallowed up by the darkness that is Ougi? That ended up becoming Ougi? Maybe the darkness manifested, ate Oshino. Oshino knew it was coming, so primed Araragi the best that he could. And that's born from Araragi's attachments that have attachment issues to his dad that he was that he was reliving through Oshino, and then Oshino got swallowed because of that, which then is where we're at. Let's see how telling just Ougi affects things. Why is Ougi gonna be the one to affect things with that knowledge? How much do you know about Ougi? Araragi, I gotta get back in your head. Can you narrate something again? Please tell me you narrate this next thing. Part of your war plan. I forgot about that line. Nanakawa, do be smart. Let's try to pretend as if Hachikuchi's still around. Let's try to pretend that I still have that attachment to comfort. If you keep telling lies like that, you'll be swallowed up by the darkness? Bro. You think you can beat Ougi? It's gotta be, right? Ougi is the darkness. Ougi's the darkness. Ougi's the darkness. Ougi's the darkness, bro. But no, what not the dark? I don't know. Because you couldn't be the Ougi couldn't be the darkness if Ougi's attached to more than Araragi, right? Because then how could Ougi would be the darkness? Is Ougi even the darkness? Their design just looks similar, and they claim the same job. Okay, let's watch Hana. Let's watch the end of Hana Monogatari. My brain is starting to really overload. Okay. What we're gonna watch, we're just gonna watch the basically grown-up Araragi. Because I haven't seen that in a long time, and I do kind of want to just rewatch it. And so this will just be this is the chance for my brain to cool down before we jump into the new episode. So context. Oh man, how much of this do I want to watch? Oh, if I'm not careful, I'm just gonna end up rewatching half the episode. Let me just rewatch some parts of it. Right here. Where's the part where Numachi admits to being dead? It's right before this. Right? Wasn't it a phone call with like Karen? Where was the phone call with Karen? Oh my goodness, I'm gonna lose it. Because I remember... Oh, yeah. She like, isn't moving on the bed as she's casting off her clothes because she has so little strength. And then she gets the call. For some reason, I thought the call was before. That's why I started getting confused. But yeah, Karen calls and says Numachi's dead. This part was so crazy. I know, I'm just rewatching this for fun at this point, I know. Because I do want to see that Araragi scene again. Wow! You know what's crazy here? They don't even play the sound. They don't play the sound usually between scene cuts like that. Whenever they do that with the numbers shaking there, they play like a You know, like a you know? It's dead silent when they do that one. Wow, what a good choice. What a great cinematic choice there. This song. That's the song I have in my Spotify. Okay. So she comforts herself with running. So good. It doesn't help that like I do this too. Like I don't know if you like night runs, night walks, like that's something that I do like to clear my head. So it just is like so it just hits so much harder cuz like I like the personal relation to it. Oh, and then she goes to the crossroads and then Araragi shows up. We'll just cut right here when she gets in the car. Okay. I just want to rewatch this. This could give us some very good clues as to this next arc. Let me drive a damned car. I wonder if that's like metaphor for him trying to grow into an adult. Like that feels like the end of a stagnation, right? I mean, we know he lost his bike, right, because of Hachikuji. During the Hachikuji thing, which is actually important because I remember there was a detail of like that somebody pointed out of like when Araragi was escaping from the darkness, he like still obeyed the traffic signs. I think that was true, which shows his like another example of his devoutness to like justice. And like instinctual, it's like baked into him. Devoutness isn't even the right word. Don't insult the roundness of my car. It's a Fiat, bro. It looks like a Fiat. Ain't gonna lie, bro. I drive a Fiat around sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. That's one of the cars I drive. One of my 7 cars. Yeah, I definitely have 7 cars. Okay. My parents plural bought it. Where's your dad, dog? Is your dad fine? Does he just live at home? Or are you tripping and you're like purposefully saying it differently out of your escapism? She did go monkey mode on you back in the day. Senjugaharu's lonely too, since she can't see you. Yeah. Of course I'm lonely. He's willing to admit his loneliness with Kombaru. I feel like that's growth. And that's him opening up to more than just Shinobu and Hachi. Losing sight of yourself. That's crazy. Ooh, what's your answer, Araragi? I don't remember this. I'm not really sure. All I could do is try to act like a senpai you'd respect. Aww. Maybe you decided what I was like, bro. What if that's some sort of 7 million IQ deep connection into she had a perception that baked into Ougi that then was a reflection of Araragi's shadows. That's maybe a bit much, but it's a fun idea. I mean, if that part is true, then that is foreshadowing. But I just, dude, I don't know, man. Maybe everyone plays roles to make those they want to like them. Because also just in context of the conversation, it makes a lot of sense. You don't need to go crazy. Wait. That line was crazy. Run it back. When you play a role like that, you lose sight of things. The role of a hero. The role of an arbiter of justice. The role of a balancer. You lose sight and you lose things. Oh, wow, her hand moves, bro. She lost the devil's arm. That's crazy. That micro movement was so good to illustrate what she was thinking about. He's like, wait a second. You're smoking crack? If they're enjoying the misery. Because you're bothered by it? Yep. Trying to tell, is this him, like, also speaking of himself, like, of something with himself, of, like, he was bothered by it, which gave him reason to put himself into situations, like, him recontextualizing his own actions? Wonder if you could say that. Because usually it's been very, like, for the other person, but, like, this is maybe even him admitting that he himself was bothered, and that is something important, and that is something worth fixing. A lot of people told me a lot of things. It just feels like that. There is also something magical about just being driven around. Just as I've always done what I've pleased. Is that even true, bro? I feel like you've done things... You've done a lot of things, I don't argue. I guess he's done what he's pleased a lot of the time. Oshino, bro. Bro! Aragi! I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. I've always done what I've pleased, but is Ougi there to pull him back? Is Ougi there to stop him from just doing what he pleases because he doesn't believe that he should be allowed to do what he pleases? You know? Just the... Oh, I forgot this ED is so fire, bro. This shot of freaking... There was one moment, I talked about it when it happened, when I watched this ED, and I literally felt myself sink into a new layer of, like, understanding, even so I don't think any new information entered my head. It was like this I hit, like, a new freaking tier, bro. It was like a new tier of enlightenment. It was the craziest experience. Like that, the instrumental before the music comes, the lyric come in, freaking crazy. Okay, I've done more than enough yapping. I think it is true. I think it is very easy to admit. Man, I'm gonna hate myself in 6 hours when I'm waking up. But you know what? No, I'm not. It's worth it. It's worth it for the monogatari. Okay, Tsukimonogatari episode 1. I need to actually fix that so I can't see view by details. Okay. Now I won't be able to see the thumbnail pictures anymore. Fixed. Okay. Ooh, look at this. This is kind of fun. 001, chapter, Tsukimonogatari, sector from here. Ononoki head. Okay. Ononoki. Okay, we might have some Ononoki. Tsukimonogatari. I think somebody told me in the Discord that this means possession story. No idea the context. It does have to do with Tsukihi, the child. I don't know. Let's get this going. Let's get this going. Okay. Ononoki, traffic sign. This looks like a traffic sign. I don't know. New OP should be exciting. New AD should be exciting. Tsukimonogatari, episode 1. Let's get going in a 3, a 2, a 1. Bang! I swear, if Ononoki's the narrator, I'm losing it. Okay, no, Araragi's the narrator for Ononoki. Araragi is my narrator? Yep. Oh, so the possession story, she's a possessed corpse? That easy? True, I forgot about her big finger, bro. Evil spirits. Why would, yeah, what do you mean evil spirits? That's a bit... The fake trying to be real type behavior. Huh? Right, but... Wait... But it could be for that purpose. Like, just because it can be for one doesn't mean it can't be for the other. Maybe. Not to become, but to be together. I mean, that could be true. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Yeah. To make sense. Like an angel, bro. True form angel just dropped. Oddities are dependent on humans, though. Just means if there's nobody to observe, nobody's being observed. Tree falls in the forest type behavior. Whoa, unpleasant guy in a Hawaiian shirt? Oshino? An oddity is still an attachment? Is that what you said? Okay, yeah. Gods can reside in all things. This is true. Okay. Oh, like the humanization of things is almost like you're possessing something with human spirit, kinda. But not even necessarily human, but just with a spirit you can relate to. This is true, you have. Araragi, I saw Araragi there. He was cut off, but that was him. Oh, Chikuchi! Karen B, bro. Tsukihi Phoenix. Wow, that shot's crazy. One of a doll. What are you? Tsukihi? Who is that? Oh no, that's just her in a kimono. Wow, yeah, you can't look at something too much or it loses its mystique. The darkness? To think that it will continue forever is a luxury. This world doesn't work like that. Wow. Came to understand endings. Whether I liked it or not. The beginning of the end, bro. How myself. Wow, that's crazy for him to say himself like that. Dude. Wow. Okay, that was scary. I liked it. That was so good. What is this? What is going on? Okay, full Ononoki. We're really sending it. Dang, the stylization's crazy. Okay. Her eyes, like, it's sliding, man. It's disjointed. We cannot be sure that the things we see are all there is. That falling star. Star makes me think of Senjugahara. What does Ononoki have to do with the end, though? The end of things? Like, what does that have to do with the sympathizing and the empathy points? That's such an interesting two things to be next to each other, those ideas. The thrilling orange. This one's such a pretty OP, dude. Yeah, it's like using her color palette really well. Woo! And she goes Flat Stanley with it. Okay. Wow! Bro, the like cut-ins are so cool this time. I love the cut-ins. Good morning, good morning. Hello? Why there? You go to Araki? Time bomb. It's a snake, it's a time bomb, it's omitted. Why are you still talking, dog? What is going on? I'm gonna lose it. Something... Omitted? Why are things getting omitted? Are you good? Hey, 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 hey. Are you in the sand? Yeah, dude. So we who are woken up would have like... Oh, good night. Oh, the Alarm Sisters. Why does the world feel so different? I guess it always feels weird, but like... Oh, is it Valentine's? I'm bad with dates. Yeah, okay. Go call Senjo. Oh, time crunch. It's all been, yeah, the ending. This background music's gonna make me lose it. Like, not even get angry, but like lose it. Tsuki, he's just laying in the bed, bro. Laying in the banana. Ha ha ha. Bro, he doesn't even... No, okay. Oh, he'll keep it a secret if he actually licked the foot or not? Why are you telling me what you're gonna keep a secret? You usually don't tell me what you're gonna keep a secret, bro. Usually just keep the secret. This background music is really gonna make me lose it. I feel like I'm still in the dream. I feel like we're still dreaming. I feel, you know? I don't know, man. And she's gone, bro. Neon. Goodbye. Oh my goodness, it was with Karen. Oh, hey. Is that the Tsukihi OP? I kind of like the OP from Tsukihi Phoenix. Hey. It's a different version of it now with Tsukihi. A different version of the same song, bro. The same background. Ha! Okay. Dude, it's the rays of light is doing something weird to my brain. Don't meow at me. Don't meow at me. You're so animated now. The music's doubling up. And his voice was doubling up earlier. That was so weird. Ow! I hate nails that are that hurt. I hate that so much. I can feel it. Araragi's losing it, bro. Araragi's losing it. Hey, Madoka Magica! It's Madoka Magica, bro! That was Kyoko, that was Madoka. I saw them. Madoka Magica reference! That's so funny. That's so funny. I love Madoka Magica, bro. What a great show. Say, yeah, this Monogatari literally replaced Madoka Magica in our watch order. And, like, with the reactions. That's so funny. With her master? Who the hell? What is up with this disjointed music? It's like splitting. We're splitting. We're splitting. Things are split. Why time? Time is such a... What is happening, man? Oh, we're waking them up now. That's... Okay. We're all waking up. We're waking up to the truth. The alarm clock of truth. Okay, heard. Are we doing another bath scene? Yeah. Clutch lotions, bro. Clutch lotions. Clutch lotions, bro. Or like soaps. Oh my goodness. Calm yourself. Oh, we're both little monsters. Your hair is so long. I remember that was a thing, but wow. Don't ask to bathe together. Let's not even play that game. You'll need to... The animation of him ducking was so good there. Yeah, I saw it coming, obviously. Why is this? How did it end up like this? The, like, stamping? It's like this weird stamping of, like, travel papers, almost. Oh, okay, so Karen toothbrush, now we're doing Tsukihi bath. I get it. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Act like the good girl. Are you gonna tell them the truth of oddities? Is that what you mean by them waking up, or is it the same as the knowledge of endings that you're talking about for yourself? Could be both. We'll see. focus. He has the perfect vampire physique. You remember that? Remember that? That was an entire thing. You're counting. You're counting. That's funny. Don't give me the close-up. It's not like this is... Okay. Oh my... Lumps of meat? Why would you... What are these cubes? This music is so goofy. This feels like a Super Mario 64, like Super Mario Sunshine music. Oh my god. Guys, I don't know about this, guys. I'm just too much. There's too much in so many different ways. What are you? You're that guy. Yeah, I remember that guy. Wait, you're a moon. You're a moon. You're a moon. Like Tsukiki formed your hair to a moon. That's fitting. I'm catching you. What are we about? What is it? Metropolitan Ordinance? Ordinance? Law? Code! Stop it! Tsukiki, stop! Stop it! You're cut off. You're done. Might be better for Karen to do so. It's so weird. Why did we go from the beginning of this episode was so disorienting for me. And so for it to now be here, it's just really crazy to me. We're going to talk about cutting the bangs. Interesting. Sengoku reference. Oh, yeah, if it's like barely there. No, I feel that. Long so you can move it out of the way. I get it. Speaking of bangs, that's funny. Yeah, you're supposed to stay out of her life, Araki. That's what Kaiki said. It's probably going to get brought up here. The right. He didn't have the right. Are you... Yeah, you're doing it hard now because you're thinking of something, yeah. He's strong, too. He got that vampire strength. What is that pose? Oh, wow. Yeah? She says such obvious things. I gotta reread so much crap. It's like another person that's left his life, too. Just like Hachikuji, just like Oshino. By whom? Okay. Wow, interesting, yeah. He feels he needs to be part of what makes it a good balance. Like, I need to make sure it has a good balance. My role at first. Interesting. This music's gonna make me have a mental breakdown. I'm gonna lose it. He's not responding. Such a sad self-hypnosis. It's like everything's cracking, man. Oh my... Oh my goodness. Why is the soap like going in, you know? He can't... It's... Yeah, Shinobu. You good? Explain, explain, explain. But he could see her. Her oddity's not supposed to show up? Wait, no, what? What? Explain. Wow. Okay. Have you lost your half-human part? Oh, shit. Okay. That's the end? I'm done. They're doing a Frankenstein bit. I don't care. Oh, Noki, get off my screen! I feel like I'm somewhere else. I don't even feel like I'm here right now. I feel like I'm somewhere else. I feel like I was in his brainscape, bro. Is this Ononoki arc even going to be about Ononoki? Like, I don't trust the show to even have its arc be about the characters. Not after Oni, not after freaking Kabuki. You know? This is starting to become a world where you don't exist. Mecha Ononoki, speak your truth. What is going on? Who was that? Even if we can never go back? I mean, that's important. You're turning into like a goose plane. I want to start things over from the beginning. That was like the finale of like a show, right? Like, oh, we destroyed the big meteor that's coming towards the planet. That's very finale. No Karen Tsukihi or yes Karen Tsukihi? What? Dude, open the next episode. No Karen Tsukihi, little talkie walkie? What? It's gonna break me. I'm gonna be broken by the end of this. I don't even know what's going on. Oh my... the music, man. The music was like, it was like putting sedative straight into my brainstem, bro. But not sedative, like this weird... Let me play it again. Where am I? Okay. The doubling. No, the doubling. The doubling of his voice? Where he's like repeating it and oscillating in and out and around. And this building track and this building track and this building track. And the building track continues between the different characters, but it changes shape as it goes to Karen and then to Tsukihi. It changes the notes, or like the instrument of it, right? As it goes to Tsukihi. Maybe it feels so different because he has changed, because now he's vampire. Maybe that's like supposed to be illustrative of the change. That's why the world feels so different. Because man, it feels weird. And this shot of Araragi with the clocks, as he repeats to himself, alarm clock, alarm clock. He's losing it. He's losing it. This is how I'm gonna feel in 5.5 hours. Where, but like no, literally, like, man, what a weird thing to get into. Like the moment of awaking, how it's like being dragged back into reality like that. I mean, it really can feel like just everything just like screaming at you. And maybe I'm projecting, but like, I mean, he's literally being crushed by clocks. He's crushed by clocks, by time. Time is finite. There is an ending to time, right? And he's running, and he's like afraid. Like, I feel like I've never seen him like, or almost never seen him afraid like this. Like, this is rare. To the phrase that states, "You awaken someone's eyes, I feel crazy anger because of that." What are you talking about? It feels delusional, man. Like, it feels like what we're being shown is like how he feels, and it's just he's echoing like the ending of a dream. So like his brain is like doing, like his words that are forming in his brain are different than like what he's feeling, and so we're getting like this weird gap there, and then it carries into his awakened world with the music in the background, where like the fear and the anxieties of that dream carry with him to the conversation with Tsukihi and Karen. And everything's getting omitted. He's telling us that he's omitting things, right? It's no longer that he's just omitting things, but he's letting us know that they're being omitted. That's huge, obviously. And this shot's very reminiscent of Kanbaru and Hana Monogatari with Numachi. There was the shot of the sand piling up with waiting. And so he's feeling like he's going to get suffocated by waiting. Or by being awoken by time. By, like, moving forward? What are you talking about? What? See, we who are woken up would like to say to this alarm clock, so, not with hatred but with thanks. Would like to say to this alarm clock, not with hatred but with thanks, thank you and good night. So he's saying to his alarm clocks, thanks, not listening, I'm gonna go to bed anyways. I'm going back to sleep. So is this all the things that he's saying to his sisters so that he can try to sleep again, so that he can, like, what is this, like, is sleep his escape from reality or something? What? Like, it's so ominous. And it's the alarm clock's taking the form of, like, the snake, a bomb. The snake, of course, Sengoku. Anxieties about Sengoku. The bomb, a bomb. Bomb explode. Bomb bad. So he's like, he doesn't want to wake up. He doesn't want to, like, face reality. And this spiraling, his inner monologue spiraling around us, and, like, I'm not even getting subs for what he's saying. He's probably just repeating himself. That this hatred may be linked to alarm clocks. Omitted. And then it shoots to this shot of him looking terrified of clocks. It's amazing. This is the most insane thing I've ever seen. What is happening? Is this, like, already the best arc? Like, low-key, like, this is insane. It's like, what's the word? It's like, what's the word? It's surreal. It's very surreal to me. It's, man, because I'm the type of guy that sets no I wonder if I can show you. I'm going to show you. This is good. This is good. You want to see my alarms? All right. We're going on a trip. Okay, right here. I have alarms throughout the entire day. And that's not my only alarm app. That's the clock function on the phone, right? I also have this special alarm app called Alarmy, right? Shout out Alarmy, I guess, that you have to, like, do things to turn the alarm off. Like, you have to solve math equations or take a picture or something or whatever. And what I can literally set my alarm, like, my live alarm for tomorrow, right? 9:45, and then I'll go in here, and I promise I'm leading to something, and I'll go 9:30, like 9:40. I really gotta wake up earlier, like 9:20, 9:30, 9:40, 9:45. I already have one, 9:15, 10:50. Like this. Like this is how I make sure I wake up, right? It's like my biggest issue, right? The reason I bring that up is that it's to illustrate that I spend a lot of time in that half state of awake and asleep, and I'm like it's like a different me. It's a different me entirely. Which is one reason that fucking I'm gonna lose it, bro. It's one reason that the Hanakawa. I don't know why Hanakawa comes to mind, but the Hanakawa, which me will I be today? Like I feel like I'm like a bunch of different people at a lot of different times, right? And the me that is like waking up is way different than the normal me. Like I slept for 12 hours last night, and I'm about to sleep for 4 hours, right? Or like, yeah, probably 4, right? Point being that I like it's this weird thing where like I'll wake up and then I'll fall back asleep, but it's not like I just fall back asleep. It's like I'm in this weird translucent half state where I will do anything to fall back asleep, right? It feels like Araragi's kind of in there, in that weird state of like, oh man, it's like he's waking up and all the anxiety is just welling back inside of him, and so he's desperate to shut the alarm clock off or something. And since he's in this like state of like half lucidity where he's just waking up, it's like the narrative is breaking down itself, where he doesn't have he's not fully conscious, he's not fully awake, he can't fully control the scene, and so he's afterwards omitting things. He's omitting things from the story post, like looking back on it, telling it, he's omitting things. And there's all these crazy shots that are contradicting, like the way he's talking, which I assume he's talking to his sisters because he's trying to narrate a way in which he can go back to sleep. So there's this weird disconnect, and I've been in that disconnect where somebody's trying to wake me up, and I'll literally like, I've told people that I'm fully awake and that I'll get out of bed, and then I have no memory of doing it, and I went back to sleep. So like subconscious or like half-conscious me will make promises and we'll have full conversations and then go back to sleep and I'll forget. It feels like he's there. He's, you know, and maybe, I don't know. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much for me, man. The shots, like this. It's like, this is how it feels. It's like, it's almost a visual representation of like what it feels to wake up, which is so brilliant. And like a visual thing, but then also like a weird, like the repeating of words. Yeah, like I've had that before too. Where like phrases will get stuck in my head as I awake. And it's like painful. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna lose it. To the phrase that states, you awaken someone's eyes. Yeah, it's like he's speaking to Tsukihi and Karen out loud. And the narration we're hearing, but he's currently in a dream. And so as he says it, it's like half conscious him saying it. Or maybe he's fully conscious, but he's still thinking about the dream. But man, I would, and this music is insane. Like, I can't even, like, the bits are crazy when they're played with this music and played with this, like, it's, like, overlapping, right? And it's, like, losing itself. Like, there's not really a rhythm to it because it's so disjointed. Disjointed and overlapping. Yeah, those are the words. Alright, I'm awake. My consciousness is fully aware. Literally me. And then I go back to sleep. And then forget that I even said anything. So did I even ever say it? It's so besides the point. The music. The music is so telling of whatever's happening here. She has a side ponytail? That's different. Karen? What are you talking about? I'd be killed off? What? Okay. There's only a month left until you take those college entrance exams. If you don't get it, you'll understand that you're better off dead, right? I'll kill you. I'll kill you if you don't get those college entrance exams. You're dead. I'll kill you. And then he says, even if you say that, I don't remember being told that, and I have no clue why I'd be killed off. Just anything about Araragi dying is such a red flag for importance, you know? Go study, go study, go study. I mean, I see the studying as like a break of stagnation, right? Like that's him moving forward is when he studies. This may be the time for a last spurt, but I don't think but I don't think this is the time for me to cram myself. He's like even admitting like a weakness. Like he's admitting like I don't think I can cram myself. I don't think it's the time for me to cram. Like, is it like burnout? Is this burnout in letting go and ending? It's not the time for you to worry just about me. And then that's what Tsukihi tells him later. And then this like omission with the foot licking. I will especially keep it a secret whether I actually licked Karen. Whether I actually licked or Karen pulled her foot back before I licked to preserve the privacy of us siblings. Like you used to when you did this with you and Senjugahara. Dude, what is happening? You did this with you and Senjugahara, like kissing and then doing other romantic things as a couple, right? You've done that before, where you preserve the privacy of you and another character to me, from me, the audience. But now you're doing it to me explicitly, which is telling me that your self-deception and your secrets is like crumpling. And I feel like it's like, man, and look, secret. He stamps it as a secret. It's like he's explicitly telling us that there are secrets now. You know, I feel like things are unraveling. I feel like he's unraveling and he's getting burnt out and it's like breaking him. And things are starting to spill, right? And so the normal way he's formatted things, he's just letting people in because he doesn't know what to do. But he's also explicitly keeping people out, but it's no longer something that he's doing like with dexterity. He's no longer doing it with like clever manipulation of the scene as much as he's doing it explicitly without that delicate touch. He's lost the delicate touch. And this lighting, and I know it's like early morning lighting, but like what a insane visual. I'm gonna go running. What are you talking about? This music, man. And why did that all take place while you and Tsukihiro were bathing? I mean, shout out, it's the Shinobu scene all over again, which was like a moment of connection between the two of them, right? It was like the moment for honesty. Nudity. Is it also trying to distract us? Are you even trying to distract me anymore? Or perhaps Araragi is getting so desperate to distract that he's not even doing it cleverly, and he's literally just like, well, we're gonna have a bathing scene, and we all know we're gonna have a bathing scene. Tsukihi says, or does he say, like, we're about to have a bathing scene? Yeah, Tsukihi even says, like, obviously we're about to bathe together. Is it like he's no longer even trying to use any light touch, and it's just like, obviously we're about to bathe, so we're bathing now, you know? Thank you. You know? So it's like, oh man. It almost feels like he's lost, or like he's just like, he's trying to distract us or whatever with nudity and with you know, whatever. He's trying to throw fan service at us to make us not pay attention, but it's lost so much of the like delicate touch where it's just so overt. And I mean, it's been overt before, but paralleled with this beginning scene of just all the panic and this like crazy music, it feels like it's overt in a different way. And then it becomes the same rising. It's this endless rising track, which is like building. It's like pressure building, right? If you actually listen to the type of the music itself playing, it goes like da 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 da. I mean, there's like a, I forget the term, but there's a term for like tracks that feel like they endlessly go up or endlessly go down. Like the freaking, but like it actually isn't increasing in tone. It just sounds like it's endlessly increasing where it actually isn't. They're doing one of those, which makes me think that it's representing like the tension building within Araragi, because he's reaching like an inner boiling point. Um, which is to show that if there's pressure building, that means the current situation isn't sustainable, which means that things have to change, which means the current situation has to end, and endings are apparently really important. But it's not even just endlessly increasing, where it's like da 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 da. It's not even perfectly one of those endlessly increasing ones. It's just repeating itself, going up and up and up and up and up and up and up. But it's overlapping. That's what really makes me. Oh yeah, this is, look, it's Madoka Magica, bro. Kyoko. I don't recognize like some of these characters. Kyoko, Sayaka, Madoka, and Homura. I think it's what, 3 different shows, because it's this outfit is the Madoka people, and then there's like this different outfit, and then this different outfit. So there's 4 different shows or 3 different shows being referenced here. But yeah, Sayaka and Kyoko. I think that's Sayaka and Kyoko, and it's really cute that them 2 are sitting together, because that's like my favorite duo of Madoka. Go watch Madoka Magica. What a good show. And dude, Madoka's stance is so Madoka, bro. How she's like, her legs are like bent away. And then Kyoko's just, her legs are like opened wide. Dude, that's so funny. That like captures their essence pretty well. Sorry, I'm cleaning gunk off my mouse for some reason. I think that's me trying to mentally escape from the situation, because it's starting to like, it's so mentally draining that I'm like, oh, must fidget with something. It's true that Karen will retire from the Fire Sisters someday for sure. That's an ending. That's important. I'm sure a lot of things will happen. Araragi, what do you think you need to explain to them? To your sisters? Tsukiki literally says this ending stuff that you talk about. So, what do you have to wake them up about? He's fascinated with her master right now? Are you talking about Kombadu? Or are you talking about the dojo master? I don't know how my college entrance exam... So the college entrance exam also is the deadline which the clocks are leading towards. I mean, time is so incredibly stressful. Time is one of the things that causes me the most stress in my entire life, you know? So I get that. Like, if there's one thing I would have infinite of, it'd be time, right? Or just fulfillment. Or, I don't know, happiness. But okay. My heart has the big brother... I felt like that isn't missing from my brain. It's high time that the Fire Sisters wake up. To what? To oddities? Because she explicitly said that she is aware that things will change, that things will end, the Fire Sisters will end. And that's the thing he was yapping about in the beginning. This entire shenanigans. Where it goes from Ononoki as a means to communicate, and that's why she's looks like a human, as opposed to actually trying to assimilate, but rather she's just doing it as a means of communication with like the culture. That happens, and that's crazy. Well, this is more that unpleasant guy in Hawaiian shirts values and way of thinking, and he underlines unpleasant guy in a Hawaiian shirt. Who wrote this? Did you write unpleasant guy in a Hawaiian shirt? I don't think you wrote that, my guy. Did Shinobu write that and then Araragi underlined it? Who wrote this? This is more that unpleasant guy in a Hawaiian shirt's values and way of thinking. I think it's Shinobu, but we're underlying Oshino, because Oshino is so important for the, abandonment in, like, Ougi. When you dig down, an oddity is just an attachment. Attachment to what? What is Ougi an attachment to? Justice? Balancing? An oddity is just an attachment. Attachment emotions. Can that perhaps be a feeling similar to sympathizing with a doll? Okay, and then what? And then what? When did we start talking about the ends? And once again, I'm trying to tell a story, one of a doll. I think this is only a 4-episode arc, so we haven't seen Ononoki yet. other than like this. But Ononoki doesn't even say anything. They're just running around. Street gossip, secondhand information. When they're spoken too much, they lose their meaning. That's fire, by the way. Like, you speak too much of something mysterious, something heartfelt, something really important, it loses it. You know, you listen to a song too much and it loses its charm. I don't know. Analogies. Fucking make up your own analogies. I'm done making analogies for you. I'm sorry. I gotta take a sip of my drink, man. This episode's crazy. The hair-raising and awe-inspiring feelings both disappear. Yeah, like a moment loses its charm when you think of it, when you talk about it, when you... It's kind of what Kaiki was saying, of like, you put it into words and it's like already deviates. It's like almost tangential to that, though it's not. You put it into words and it deviates, but you speak of it too much and it loses something. It loses mystique. I agree with that. That's cool. That's a fun thing to bring up. Like, you know, I'm already locked in there. And then he thinks back to the darkness and Sengoku and the snake god. Bringing up the darkness is interesting. I wonder how much longer things will go like this. He's changing the subject so much. I'm kind of fed up with it. To the apparitions which I meet one after another, feeling that trickery is starting to no longer work. I also feel despair from it. Yeah, I mean, he's breaking. It's all too much for him. He's thinking about when it's going to end, when all the oddities are going to end, when he keeps meeting people that have problems and he keeps fixing them, and when the trickery is starting to no longer work. Who are you tricking? Yourself? Me? Both? Yes. Both. Yes. I mean, for sure. You haven't been honest in telling me your story. So, but I don't think previously I don't think it was entirely, I think there were times where it was done for privacy and there were times when it was done like intentionally, but like also it was just like he did it because he himself wasn't able to do it, you know. He, in the same way that like you could see that I've interpreted Kaiki to have been pushed to be honest, like Araragi is at the point where he's being pushed to start to be honest and is admitting the trickery is no longer working. He's explicitly omitting information now. I also feel despair from it. It's black text. Black makes me think Ougi because it goes blue, darker, black. Ougi has a very, you know, black eyes, black hair. The darkness is black. To think that it will continue forever is a luxury. It's crazy. He's considering it a luxury, but also admitting that thinking like that is causing him despair. So he's even considering his own despair, or what's resulting in his despair, as a luxury, which is almost to say, like, okay, if that's a luxury, then what's not a luxury? Like it gets worse. No, thinking of what if is no use this late. He has his head down. He's not even watching the roller coaster. He's like with Ononoki going on this like thing, but he's like barely... He's not even thinking about it or something. Like he's not even on the carousel with her. He's not even on the merry-go-round. He's watching. What is this? The rowdy days continue for just a bit longer? The repetition of such words? By the way, whoever did the translating like the English font for this, like holy crap, good job. Like look how it's so like... I didn't even think about that just now, that somebody, like, matched the text. But, wow, what a good job they did. The story of the doll that I'm going to tell is the story where I came to understand that. Came to understand the endings of it. The story... I mean, that's a part of growing up, too, if we want to tie it back to the part of growing up. Like, part of growing up is realizing it's not going to last forever. Ooh, you want me to share something crazy and personal? Yeah, I will, because I mentioned it. No, like, really quick. I remember there's a very specific thought of mine that's like, inside out core memories, you know that thing? Besides the point. There's a very core memory in my brain of me being in elementary school, and I was at the lunch table, I was just talking to one of my friends, don't remember who it was, Rip Bozo, but I remember saying, like, dude, we're gonna be here forever. Like, the amount of days between now, this moment of elementary school, I was probably in, like, what, 2nd or 3rd grade or something? Or maybe even younger. It could have been like 1st grade because of the position in the lunchroom. It was organized by grade. Not important. But, yeah, I think it was younger. Point being, though, that I was like, dude, we're gonna be here forever. Like, the amount of days between now and, like, middle school before we're even out of elementary school is so large that it's basically forever. And, like, to even think that one day I'll be in high school, like, that's insane. And, like, right now, your boy's in college. So, like, poor younger me was saying, like, holy crap, I'm gonna be here forever. Like, the amount of time is so long, it is in reality, like, in reality, it's limited, but in how it actually, like, is experienced, it's gonna be forever, because it's just too long to even consider how many days there are until that happens. But now I'm, like, way past any of the, like, latest things I mentioned back then in elementary school. And it's like that, like, as a child, it's so easy to be like, dude, we're gonna be here forever. Like, it goes on. Like, death is so far away. And man, for Araragi to be thinking of the end, I mean, the end of what? The end of this story, the end of Oddities, the end of your time as in high school, moving on into being an adult, the end of your childhood? Is this also about the end of people, the end of Hachikuji, the end of Oshino, the end of someone else? Someone you haven't told us about, perhaps? The end of your relationship with Senjugahara? Not that that's happened or will happen, but... I mean, there's a lot to end. There's a lot to lose. The beginning of the end. Which end? This is so good. This story is about how a human named Araragi Koyomi, and then he adjusts it. About how myself, Araragi Koyomi. No, like, he's explicitly linking it to himself, which I appreciate. Because, I mean, random fun detail, like in the light novel, like, there was, I'm pretty sure in the light novel, like, we never got to know, I wasn't there. It was never shown that, like, what Araragi looked like. And that was something that, like, the first anime, because I saw there was, in the Discord, somebody posted, like, the first anime teaser for, like, what Araragi would look like, with, like, his hair and everything. But it's, like, I feel like there's always been a distance between him and himself in the telling of the stories. And so that feels like he's trying to bridge it. Because, like, in the light novels, like, he never actually showed the audience what he looked like in those, to my understanding. The OP and the ED I'm not even touching. I'm saving that for next episode. This music, that marimba. I think it's a marimba. It's some sort of mallet instrument, I'm pretty sure. Ooh, and then something higher? Like, sneaks in? What was omitted? What? Bluntly, the words alarm clock and the existence of such a thing are not things I like. Dude, wait! I don't... Dude. It's an anxiety. He's emitting one of his anxieties, right? Because look at these clocks. It's the clocks. The different clocks represent his different anxieties. Right? I don't know what that represents. It's just... That's a clock. Okay, don't listen to me yet. But the snake clock. The bomb. The ticking time bomb. That's clock anxiety. Then explicitly goes to snake clock. So his anxiety about Sengoku. And then omitted. There's an omitted anxiety. He's telling us about the omitted anxieties. The ones he's not telling us the entire time. But it's ringing. He can't ignore it forever. He could ignore it. The only way he could ignore it if he was dead. Because then he would be gone and he wouldn't have to. He would be gone. But he's not. And he's speaking so calmly, but it's echoing, and he's afraid, and it's crushing him. It's a nightmare. Like, he's in a nightmare. And they're all different times, and things are omitted because he doesn't want to tell us about his hidden anxiety, because everything's falling apart. But it doesn't even end when he wakes up. It follows him. Until he gets distracted by a quirky little bathing scene with Tsukihi. But then even in the quirky little bathing scene... Okay, I'm sorry. Even in the quirky little bathing scene, it's just like the pop player just knows where to take me, you know, because it goes to like it like goes in like variables of a few seconds, and it always knows the sus seconds to drop into, bro. Whatever. But it follows him, like all the anxieties and like the talk and like his existence trying to help people and existing and doing all that stuff, like the existence of the story, his existence within the story we've been told follows him into the bath because Tsukihi brings it up. Like, he can only escape into gimmicks and bits for so long. And the music changes, it's all funny and goofy, and it's like, you know, and they're being all pervy and such. But then she brings up Sengoku, and then he's thinking about that again. Right? Which distracts him from his bit, which causes him to hurt her. Right? So it's like, he's not even focused on the bit, he's focused on something else. Which gets portrayed to us as a bit, sure, but then she keeps going on. It's a good thing, it's a wonderful thing. However, that good, wonderful thing is once again created. An extremely unable stage, something that needs to be balanced. You're considering yourself as a balancer? I need to make sure there's a good balance. He feels responsible. Shout out his justice traits. I need to make sure there's a good balance. And then, what, is Ougi supposed to be the one that balances? Is Ougi your tool to balance things? Because you yourself are too compromising? Because you care too much? Because you follow your whims too much? Because you're, and you might blame that on yourself having a weak spirit, though I wouldn't consider that, because, what's the word? Temperance in all things. But to make sure there's a good balance. Dude. Is Ougi the tool for that? But is it intentional or is it not? If so, I don't know. Balance, huh? That wasn't my role at first. What was your role? That which is balanced? You're saying that out loud. Oh, that's not in your brain. Wait, or... No, this is supposed to be in your brain. Right, italicized text is in the mind, is it not? What's an example? Yeah, italicized text is in the mind text. And maybe even those barriers are breaking down. Huh? Because look here. Oh, look at this. She says such obvious things, but especially Tsukihei about Sengoku, about how she was missing for the past few months. It's not something she knows the minute details of. Is that something you want to wake her up to? Sengoku was actually part of an oddity. You're about to be exposed to the supernatural. But man, why did... Look, because he's in another place, right? He's going through the memories, or his thoughts of Sengoku. That's all italicized text to show that he's in his mindscape. But then look, has once again created an extremely unstable area. He's talking. Even if I make sure everything doesn't turn out fine, I need to make sure there's good balance. He's back in the scene. It cuts to his eye, not his mouth. Balance, huh? He's still in his mind. That wasn't my role at first, but she hears it because he's saying it out loud. So I think his inner monologue, what he was thinking at the time, slipped out, and he mumbled it out loud when he didn't mean to. And that's why she was able to respond, because she heard it, because he said it. But he didn't mean to say it, and that's why it was italicized, and it was coming right off of that what he was saying. And he's even like surprised, and it could be surprised because of what she said of it's not your role, but also of like, oh, I said that out loud. Where am I? You worry about us too much. Araragi's losing it, bro. Araragi's losing it. Wait, what is that line? It's not like I felt responsible and assigned myself a particular role of watching you. It's not like I found myself... Well, are you saying that sarcastically to say that that's exactly what you did do? Yeah. He's saying like, no, of course I feel responsible, and I'm literally lathering you up. But then why fondle? Why fondle? Is the who's the fondling for? Is it for me, or is it for her, or is it for yourself? For what do you fondle, Araragi? It's not that I'm lathering you up or fondling you. But then he does that exactly, because he's saying that, yeah, he's saying this ironically, he's like inverting. Um. So yeah, he's saying I'm doing this for my own end. Man, does he see himself as taking response as like doing things? Like, does he almost consider that masturbatory? Of like, that's a crazy thought. Of like, he, oh man, he, feels responsibility to help people, but he also feels good when he does it. And since he feels good, he considers it masturbatory. So he throws in perverted fondling type behavior to try to be like, yeah, like I'm helping you, yes, but I'm also doing it for my own ends and I'm gross. Like, is it almost like an extension of his own self-hatred for the manner in which he helps people? Because, man, when he does it, it's like, I don't know, it's like tired. Or it's just fan service, but like, you know, god damn. By going in order with washing yourselves, we solved the problem of how cramped the... And she, yeah, she's just... Dude, this episode was crazy. For so many reasons. He's talking about Shinobu. And then it gets funny, gimmicky again. Oh, and then he doesn't see himself in the mirror. Why is he a full human? Or a full vampire? Why? You don't consider yourself human anymore? Or does that have to do... Let me think. Kizu, man. The end of Kizu. What are the exact terms and agreements of Shinobu and Araragi's relationship? What are those exact terms and agreements? Because if Araragi dies, Kishot goes full Kishot mode, end of the world. If she dies, he goes back to being human. So why is he a full vampire? I think it has to do with his self-perception then, right? Because I don't think it has to do with Shinobu, like, dying. No, that wouldn't make sense. This is like the ultimate... This is like Shinobu got what she wanted, not to die, but like in making him a servant. Like, and that's not even what she wanted, but like, not even that. But like, where they were in the middle ground where he was a half human, half vampire because of so much stuff. Oh my goodness. Kizu 3, bro. We already I have it in my head, you just gotta trust me. I don't want to verbalize it at this moment. So for him to go full vampire makes me think that the walls he had up, like clinging desperately to his humanity, has since been let go. But why? What caused this? I mean, Ougi's the biggest issue. Ougi's the one that's easiest to point the finger at, but I don't understand that connection. I don't know why that would be the case. At all. Ougi, the darkness, taking away things that he doesn't think he deserves. Now that he's lost time. How long has this been going on for? Wait, maybe it's been going on for a long time. Maybe he lost this a long time ago. Yeah, because that's vampirism. He's gone full... This means he's full vampire, right? Is that what I'm supposed to pull from this? Because he's making it a big deal, and it's the vampire in the mirror joke. Yeah, and he literally says it. It's crazy. He says it like it's the first time he's ever real. It's like he just realized it for the first time. He's like, holy crap, I'm a vampire. Dog, you've been a vampire since the start. You've been a vampire the entire story. Have you since forgotten? You know? And it's not that... is it that he's finally, like... As everything's collapsed... Like, as so much of his mental space is collapsing, like... Now... What was I saying? Oh my goodness. Is it that, like, so much of his mental space is collapsing that now he's like, oh shit, I never dealt with that. Like, Kizu... Is all coming... Is Kizu now gonna hit him? Is he now dealing with Kizu? Is that what I am to say? Oh, that's the end. No Karen Tsukihi? I'm not even touching that. Okay, what else? Is there anything else I'm trying? I gotta go to fucking bed, bro. I gotta go to bed. Lumps of meat on the chest, counting the abs. Yeah, I mean, it's like the bath scene. We're like doing things we've already done before, but it's not working. What the heck is this? You don't want... Okay, what is this? How did it end up like this? You don't want to go? Then does Oni-chan's steam rise in his hot spring at his little sister? That's a line we see later. That's a line that's later in the episode. Impossible, impossible, we're in the bathroom. Hey you, are you all talk? I guess you're all bark and no bite. You didn't have the guts to take a bath with me in reality. Did you, you chicken girl? Do they not even bathe? What? Aragi, wait, what does this mean? You didn't have the... No, they did bathe. They did bathe. This was both said. Okay, so this was said in between the scenes when they were getting into the bath. No. And he was taunting her into bathing. Because he's reminiscing, how did we get here? That's the answer. That's how they got there. They taunted each other into bathing. It is not a bath as spacious as the anime version, or rather it is an average-sized bath for an average family. As the anime It's crazy because it's so spacious to us, where it's being shown to us as so spacious, which makes it look like the decision for Araragi to be close to her, which would make it be like, oh, Araragi's being perverted. But, like, we're being told it's actually not that spacious. Or at least the room's spacious, but I guess, like, the room by the, like, water isn't. Oh, yeah, they're both sharing a stool. So I guess I don't know that, man. Oh my god. If you're going to back off, you shouldn't have suggested in the first place. I can say that to you too, Ori-chan. This is the definition of reaping what you sow. Reaping what you sow? I feel like we're not even just talking about the bath at that point. The hot spring steam is rising from your naked sister's body? Is that the exact wordage they just used? Oh my goodness. This is the bathroom suit. You want to eat? That's literally the line that was just said. So that line was in the future. And it was said here. Right here. Right? Is this even important? This is a bathroom if you want to leave. Okay, cool. And then... in that case, it might be better for Karen to do so. Do what? Oh, just bathing. Bathing stuff. Cut the bangs, Sengoku, Vice. Is there anything else in here? I mean, there is. What did you have to answer? Okay, this is probably important. I'll figure something out. Okay, to the question of what? How's your studying for the college entrance exam really going? Yeah, for a moment I was even thinking like, dude, has he been studying at all? Like, I would not be surprised if homeboy Araragi, like, literally every time he was supposed to solo study, he just didn't. You know, he was just doing something else. And not even, like, doing something else, but doing something like anxiety, like, stressing, like, I don't know, something, you know? Freaking calling Ougi, hey, what's good with you, baby girl? You know, something. Other than studying. That, like, it's, but I don't know. I mean, because obviously he's studying with other people a lot of the time, but, like, solo studying, I don't know if what he's really doing. And he's saying, I'll figure it out. So that's what I had to answer. Even if I wasn't, I had to answer that way. Even if he wasn't going to figure anything out. Even if he couldn't figure something out. Such a sad hypnosis. I'm a hypnotist. What is happening? Such a sad self-hypnosis. Hypnosis? I can't do it. I can't. You're actually telling me that you are self-hypnosizing. That's crazy. And she's saying, Okay, so he's saying, I'll figure it out. And she's saying, you gotta stop stressing about everything else. This is good advice. Listen to me. Is this really the time for you to be washing me? And he's like, well, maybe I feel responsible for you. By going in order... Oh, no, we already read that. I feel like this is right at the end, right? The first objective about how narrow the tub is. Shinobu reference. And then reveal. Okay. This beginning stuff... I don't know where we're going with this. I mean, I hear what they're saying of, like, it's not an assimilation, it's just an understanding for the purpose of communication, you know? But why? To maybe show... Okay, what about this? To understand to understand the truth of oddities and humans are separate. Boom. So, Ononoki, who is an oddity... Yes, she looks like a human, but she's not a human. She's not even trying to be a human. She's just looks in that way because that's a manner in which she can interact with humanity. Same way that other oddities look like humans, but they're not humans, right? That's the idea. And so that directly coincides with Araragi is no longer half human, half oddity because he realizes there is no such thing. Or something akin to that. That... I wonder if it's almost like, bro, in the same way that Ougi is like non-compromising and like is punishing liars, maybe this is like Ougi stole... This is random. Ougi stole the other half of his humanity because he's lying to himself. No? Okay. I tried. But it's like... That's a bit much. I don't know. I feel like it's like, in a way, he's... applying, like, with all the pressure, the time pressure, the continual pressure of oddities and everything that's happened, his own idea of humans and oddities is returning to, like, the baseline of just human oddity, and he himself has been sorted into the oddity category by himself, hence he's a vampire, and that's what this was priming us for, saying that oddities are oddities, humans are humans. Even the oddity that looks like a human is a doll that isn't even trying to be human. And so by saying everyone's waking up, he's waking up to the fact that he is an oddity, that he is a monster. He even calls it evil spirits somewhere in here, which implies evil, which implies bad, assuming that that's accurate to the, translation wise. But, so if he's sorted himself into oddity, then everyone waking up is perhaps not even just waking up to the endings of things, but waking up to the fact that he is an oddity, he is a monster. And so his sisters, of course, maybe will be woken up to that fact as well in the coming episodes. That's what I got. I think that's all I got for this episode of Monogatari. On to the next episode 2 of Tsukimonogatari. This is how the final season is starting. Yeah. What is happening? Araragi, man, I'm so happy to have him as a narrator again. I appreciate it so much more now. It hits so hard. I mean, that didn't even, like, it's weird. I didn't even, it's like, I don't feel like a lot of the emotional things because I'm so enthralled that I'm not even within my own body. So I don't even feel the emotions. It's just, I'm, like, lost. I'm, like, lost within it. Which is, like, such an interesting feeling. And, man, just this beginning sequence was really crazy to me. I feel like I've never seen Araragi like this. Literally about a me in freaking 5 hours. Alright, bet. Okay. What a great episode. What a great start to this season. I'm very excited for this next arc of Monogatari. On to the next, episode 2. Of course. If you like the video, subscribe if you're new, blah, blah, blah. It really does mean a lot. It really does keep me going with these silly little yappins. You know how it goes. But yeah. I forgot how the outro goes. Like the video if you like the video, subscribe if you're new, blah, blah, blah. Comment below if you have anything to say, or join the Discord and talk to me or other Monogatari fans there. But until then, until the next episode, episode 2 of Tsukimonogatari, I'll be seeing you then. Peace.